and welcome everyone to the Canadian Intercollegiate Expo Grand Finals of Valorant, wrapping everything up on this wonderful Canada Day weekend. My name is Rare Adam. Alongside me today is Lunr. Very excited to get into this one today, Lunr. How have you been feeling?
I've been feeling good. I personally experienced both of these teams firsthand when I was playing in the tournament, and I can say that they're both, they have their strengths, they have their weaknesses, but yeah, today will be a good best of 5.
For sure, and it's going to be Keyano Huskies going up against SFU Flamingo. Of course, SFU Flamingo being sort of a known quantity throughout all of this. They went 4-0 in the round robin stage. Orbital and I had the pleasure of casting a couple of those games where it seemed as if they were just having a little bit of fun there to start things out, but they still go 4-0, and that's what matters. Of course, Keyano on the opposite side being sort of a bigger surprise there, coming through at 3-1. They're looking like quite the team there. What's your first impressions of this Keyano roster, I want to say?
I was really surprised about Keyano's roster because I knew these people in the winter semester, and they were nowhere close to being as strong as they are today, and that really threw me for a loop. So I'm really excited to see what they have in store, especially with their 3 new players.
Yeah, I think that's the major thing. There's these new pickups that they've got going for themselves. I mean, Ambot was having a fantastic time on Thursday as well, so I want to see if that can translate over into the larger scale of a best of 5. And of course, this being a best of 5, we have to talk about the map pick bans here, which have just been completed as well, and we get to see a little bit of a change up here from these teams, specifically starting on some of these more standard maps, or the standard map in the Ascent, but of course going to Lotus, Pearl, Fracture, Bind. We get 2 of those 3 staple maps, I want to say, from the game removed from play from the get-go, and I really appreciate that coming through from these teams where they're pulling out something a little bit different.
Right, and you see in the format best of 5, you get to really experience the more the depth of their strategy, of their playbook. You can see how much they scrimmed will shine through here, really.
Yeah, and I think that especially considering we get some of these different maps, I want to see if the agent pools change at all. Of course, we are playing on the live patch without deadlock, meaning that the clip sizes are smaller. There's a couple of changes to some of those agents as well, and specifically, I want to see what happens on Ascent, because Sage has started to rise up as that key sentinel, as opposed to something like a Killjoy who's been nerfed into oblivion. It feels like Cypher, who only has a couple of setups there as well. I want to see if they opt to go for something a little bit different, or if they're just going to stick with the standard comps that we've seen on Ascent for what feels like the last year.
Yeah, it's true that Killjoy has been hit with some nerfs, but still, as an agent, she's more dominant than ever since, the Chamber nerf. She's still going strong. Turret health nerf, nothing. Molly nerf, that's okay. So, yeah, she's still, the meta sentinel as far as it goes for building team comps.
Yeah, and I think that if we're going to sort of look under this microscope here into what ends up coming through, Ambot, who pulled out the Omen, are they still going to stick towards that controller role? Are they still going to be able to frag out as well as they did against some of the weaker teams that they had to go up against? That's my main concern and my main focal point, I want to say, where they had a fantastic game against DBC Blue. They had fantastic games against basically everyone except for SFU in that first map, where it just felt really back and forth. That's my main sort of intrigue into the whole ordeal here between these 2 teams. Of course, if we take a look back to Thursday, this was our first matchup that was put on stream. SFU ended up winning 14-12. They went to overtime, and it was a little bit of a surprise considering what we expected coming through from SFU Flamingo going into this. Do you think that the sub that they're playing with, Glow instead of Kane, do you think that really makes a difference for them, or is it more so just the cohesion and them being a little bit too lackadaisical about it?
Kane's probably busy today. I mean, as an SFU player, you're just running whoever is available, probably, but it shouldn't make too much of a difference. I mean, Kane is indeed the IGL, shot caller and all that, but as it goes for the strength of the roster, they're as a whole, they're still, they're still good, even without Kane. But if they had Kane, it would be way stronger, I guess.
Yeah, I think that is the major focal point here, and we'll sort of figure out the rosters and everything. There might be a sub coming through. We'll find out once they actually get into game for this one. But of course, on the opposite side, we have to look at Keyano's roster, and Ambot was really that major focal point that we talked about so many times. But, everyone was stepping up in their own way. Savo had a couple of nice pop-off moments. Bondo has sort of been that consistent force for them through the entire thing. Sandra and Luffy filled their roles as well. I think this Keyano roster is one that could be dangerous come the fall once again, because They have a player who's playing from EU. They've got a couple of moving parts still. There's still a lot of time until the CVAL season starts, but especially in the West, which is known as sort of a wide open region. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to cast a lot of those games. We need to see how that sort of resolves itself once the year comes around, because who knows, there might be a new meta that shifts in the next couple of months. There might be new teams that are created. It really depends on all those factors, but Keyano has looked quite good thus far.
Super well-rounded rosters on both sides. I mean, it's just, we're gonna have to see. We're just gonna have to see how it all plays out over time.
Of course, but believe we should be getting into map 1 shortly here. Ascent is going to be that first one on the block. And of course, Ascent being one of the smaller maps, being one of the oldest maps as well, and being a sort of fan favorite or non-favorite, I don't know. Everyone picks Ascent. It always feels like the collegiate standard. All these teams are going to go to Ascent at some point in a best of 5 to just get it done with. On map number 1, what's sort of your key takeaways for both of these teams? Let's start with Keyano. What do you want to see from them on Ascent to sort of start the series off?
I need to see them play textbook. They're playing against a super well-known, super good roster. They need to play where they make very little mistakes. They can make small mistakes, but not mistakes that are big enough to cost rounds. Because if they do make noticeable mistakes, then Flamingo will obviously catch on and start exploiting them. No hesitation.
And of course, on the flip side, for Flamingo, you were saying?
Yeah, Flamingo needs to show some of their star power, really. They have a really good roster. They just need to, not be sloppy. They need to not underestimate Keyano, because, as we saw in the group stage, they almost lost. They had to do some, a little bit of comebacks here and there to get right back to get the, secure the round win.
Yeah.
So should they not be sloppy again, it should be a light cruising for them.
Yeah, and we start up into this map here, something to note is that Crown is actually out from this one. It'll be Niner playing for the side of SFU Flamingo. This is an interesting one because last time we really saw Niner at the highest level, it was in CVAL fall of 2022 when they were playing on Carleton. This is a very talented player in their own regard. I want to see if they can come through and really gel with this team, because it felt like at times, especially playing with Glow over Kane in the past, they might have had a couple of hiccups, I want to say, especially in that first map that we saw. I wonder if now they're going to be feeling a little bit better in this one.
Yeah, Niner has a sub. That's pretty good. I mean, Kane no doubt is a good player, but I guess they're just going to have to, free ball here and there to see, they can do with the subs, Granton and Niner.
And of course, getting into map number 1 here, we are underway on to Ascent in the grand finals of the Canadian Intercollegiate Expo. This one should get interesting here. I'm excited to see what these teams can pull out, and already SFU starting on this attack, playing incredibly quickly towards this A site. Savo already forced all the way back into tree as SFU just execute. They press W, they get on site, and they're planting within 15 seconds.
Excellent trades, and yeah, super fast execute, get the job done. Trying to retake here, Senja. The shock dart's coming through the utility. Unfortunately, Keyano just super chipped, and the only one that can really do much is Luffy, as he's at full health, but not gonna let them through. Kaho spamming through the under of the floor there. And trying to grab almost Niner and Juka finishing off the round. First round goes to attackers.
And incredible stuff coming through from the side of SFE Flamingo, just sort of W key gaming, as we were saying, but just putting pedal to the metal, making sure that they get their ones, get onto site and make sure it sticks from there. But of course, onto the second round, what are you looking for from Keyano in terms of their defense here? Because we saw them play Ascent. It was quite good against UBC Blue. They went perfect on the defensive side after going 6-6 at the half. Now they're starting to go up against a more talented team. What's their answer to Flamingo? What do you want to see out of them?
I mean, it's really an adaptation game, this game, Valorant. Like, if Flamingo still continues, pressing on with their hard executes, then Keyano is simply just going to have to adapt. More simple than that, they have to play a more retake style, going to have to play more information gathering with their, KO and Sova. But as we see, Flamingo is rotating, playing more slow with their superior weapons, and yeah, catches Senja pushing up.
Yeah, and now just sort of B site left all open here. A couple of members are going to make it there before the side of Flamingo are able to execute here. Something to note, Niner bought a Vandal and gave it to Stu. So Stu is rich as anything right now with that Vandal full of shields. Bondo, though, going to find a kill in the Kaho. Stu trades it right out with that extra gun. The heavy shield's actually coming through in the clutch as they only have 19 health remaining. Savo trying to make something happen, will not be able to shut down Niner. And now 4v2 on this site. A couple of very low members, specifically in Niner and Stu, but Glow just going to clean up the last couple. A great switch of the strategy there to catch Keyano off guard, and SFU find their second round.
Yeah, that round was just over and done with, and like it actually worked. The heavy shield with the Vandal, it mattered when like it came to taking site, right? Went down to 25 health off the push. So it's like, yeah, it's excellent. Super well done round.
I like this bonus that's coming through from them as well, because it's not really a bonus. It's a pretty heavy bonus. They've got 4 Vandals there. It's Stu with the light shields. You know, Kaho's got a lot in the inventory as well. Of note, Kaho's also playing Sova this time around as opposed to the Jet, so sort of just switching up some of the agents that they're playing. I like to see this adaptability come through from teams, and you know, Kaho's normally been known as that main duelist threat, always pulling out the Jet, always getting some stats going for them. That's an interesting switch up for them to be on the Sova. Bondo, though, gonna find Juka on a nice little lurk there. Ambot, great paranoia.
Really started here. I mean, this round is super pivotal, as you know, if SFU Flamingo gets this round, then we might start to seeing like a snowball effect going here. But it's quite even right now, 3v3. Looking toward A, the spike's still over at B. Going to have to regroup. And here we see like, you know, info coming out. Need to see like both teams looking for each other's positions here. So you need to recover the spike. Be very careful. And Keyano making a call to kind of reset up here back on B. The turret will come down. And SFU Flamingo slowly going through B main, checking every corner. They could be anywhere really. We'll soon find out the truth.
It's a little bit of a read as well from Flamingo.
Good read. The KJ will come through. Alright, perfect. That will secure the site 100% of the time. However, they will have to be careful of the CT angle, as that will be the main resistance. Open sightline on the entry here.
Yeah, unfortunately, Senator's going to back out. Nice little flash coming through. Luffy finds Niner, and they're going to get that spike down with very little time remaining. It really comes down to if they can find that angle at the right time. Kaho finds 2, but Bondo clears out the round as it's a clutch for Bondo, but a very costly round for the side of Keyano on their full buy.
Yeah, those are some excellent trades coming out here at the end of that round. Super quick, super scrappy. And yeah, when you have teams with like firepower as good as both of these teams, then that's just what's gonna happen.
Great start for the side of Keyano to get themselves off the ground. Of course, as we mentioned, a very costly round, but it seems like most members are going to be able to buy back up. Savo has that Guardian. It's a Spectre on Sendra who will be trying to lock down that B site once again. The rebuy going to come through for the side of SFU, apart from Juka, who only has a classic right now. Might just be playing sort of bait and switch this time around, trying to bait out some shots, see what they can find for themselves, but very slow presence push towards the A site right now.
I'm liking the A setup here from Keyano. Savo on top of the double box, as well as, you know, Omen chilling in tree really to catch the cross and hopefully a trade. You can see how fast SFU Flamingo comes out here. The drone and Glow ready. Omen flash though, likely deterring the push. Smoke's coming through. Maybe SFU Flamingo will flash through here, but might have to call it off. And Niner, Bondo in mid, catching a little bit, but no duel there. And Glow will enter sight. Nice, clearing all the angles. Still haven't found Savo, but he does. Good shot by Glow. Luffy trading him out.
Nice little trade coming through from the side of a Glow and Luffy there. Plan will go down onto this A site though, and now all that control that Keyano felt like they had is now wrested out from under them here. Kaho gets a couple of shots through the floor here. 45 HP on Luffy is not a whole lot to deal with. Even more damage being dealt. Luffy is so low at this point. Kaho will be able to find it through the floor in hell. Juka finds another one on the off angle. Will be traded out by Bondo, but everyone else from the side of SFU Flamingo gets on the board. It's a third round in their favor. Now we get a tech pause.
And a tech pause. I mean, like, on the retake, Kyle just smelled blood in the water and just kept on spamming through the floor, kept on shooting a shot, and he got a kill for pretty much free onto Luffy. Just unfortunate. But, like, as soon as that happened, then the rest of the team just, like, completely shut down the retake, getting the round win for SFU Flamingo.
Good stuff coming through from them. And for the side of Keyano at this point, what do you need to see out of them? A sort of a change up here, because it feels like they're getting outstrated a little bit here by the side of SFU Flamingo, who are executing with confidence each and every round. Even in the round that they lose, they wait, they play the entire clock, and they still manage to get the spike down. What do you want to see out of the Huskies here to sort of answer the beck and call set by Flamingo?
It's funny you talk about confidence, because that's what they need. That's what Keyano needs. They keep hesitating on these retakes. They're setting up for the retakes, but they're taking way too long. Long enough for, players like Kaho to spam through the floorboards and get free damage. They need to, I assume they know the strats, and they just need to do them.
Yeah, I think that's sort of the
like
strat.
A massive time deficit, right? The longer you wait, the more the timer on the spike keeps going down, and it'll have to go faster and faster. They just need to confidently execute their strategies that they've practiced.
Seems like Ambot going to be reconnecting back into this one after a little bit of that delay. Of course, can't be a best of 5 without a tech pause nice and early. Hopefully that caster curses it so that we don't get more tech pauses throughout. We have to just talk about the tech pause as much as possible so that they get scared off or whatever. Nonetheless, Flamingo now sitting on heavy buys compared to the likes of Keyano, who quite literally just didn't buy at all. There's light shields on the jet. But yes, that early information, they want to try and scout out where these players are. Niner has just been sort of sitting here in B main, shoots the dart though, and that'll give away a little bit more information. Granted, only one bullet fired means not a whole lot given over to the side of Keyano. That smoke will definitely be sort of the answer to that question.
Right, and SF Flamingo taking B main here. At the start of the round, it looked like a simple, KJ lurk setup, but as it turned out, the rest of SF Flamingo followed through. And now they're on site.
Yeah, great angle found by Glow. Gonna take down Savo. Niner gonna find another one onto Bondo as well, and Kaho just here on site, Stu able to trade it out. Niner finds a second one, and it's down to Senja, who doesn't have anything here, really. Has the classic.
Gonna have to fall just to the weapons alone, unfortunately. It was a good try, though. Good try. I mean, they got a couple trades through right on to B site. But what can you really do against full rifles?
Kaho doing a little bit of friendly fire action there. Might get that little icon at the end for ability misuse onto Stu as they get the friendly fire on that shock dart. But of course, it's all fun and games between those two. They're just messing around for the time being. But thus far, the substitution of Niner into this rotation here has been quite successful. 7-1-0 coming through. And this is a player that both of us know is very talented. Tried
and true. Yep, exactly. And he knows what he needs to do. He's doing it. 7-1. No coincidences there. And we're seeing a default come through here from SFU Flamingo. Probably leaning more towards A. Just playing real slow here. Taking all the space they can. Seeing a drone. Likely indicator of what may soon follow. And the Silva ult, hold on. Trying to catch the people on Cat. Successful, I'd say.
Some good damage.
Senja good for one. Not the second. Glow, good trade.
Yeah, and it was just tagging everyone down to 70 HP. 2 shots needed on everyone means that the trade goes in favor of Keyano. Even that extra little bit of damage dealt to Niner is going to be pivotal. Savo holding this angle with the operator has not been cleared out by the side of SFU Flamingo quite yet. Stu's going to be the one to peek. Ends up going down to that long gun of the law. Kaho finds a kill onto Bondo as well, and now 2v2. He should be aware that the spike is down. Kaho, very risky dart, will not get punished for the time being, but with 70 HP, a total of 80, I think, between the two of them, means this round is incredibly difficult to deal with, as Kaho now has to deal with contention through B, or through Catwalk. Ambot and Savo going to find their ones, and a second round on the board for the side of Keyano.
Yeah, that was really well done by Keyano. I mean, using the Silva ult to get the chip, and it's just completely stopped whatever plan as a Flamingo had to take a tree. And yeah, everyone just kept on getting pinched there, especially with the op. Keeping the op on B side was really pivotal to the round win there, getting 2 picks. Yeah, the eco is looking still fairly equal. Kaho gonna have to deal with the sheriff though. And we're seeing a retake.
Very quick on to sight is Glow. Nice! Hunter's Fury gonna come down. Kaho finds both members on the back of sight. Glow's already in there, but Luffy and Ambot able to trade those back. Juka finds another one onto Ambot. It is just Senja and Savo to try and hold this down. Forced to pop the knives is Savo. Needs to try and find a way onto sight, but 3v2 retake here. You've got the knives. If you can't find a kill with that one, you are in trouble, because we've talked about this, Orbital and I, any caster and I really have talked about how difficult it is to retake sight with an operator, because they don't need to peek you.
Exactly. I mean, you just kind of wait for them to come in, and you either hit the shot or you don't, but it's still super high value, super high impact, right?
Just the save.
Save, yeah, you need to keep that. It's like, it's an investment, really. You put all your credits into this weapon, and hopefully you want to get the value and the impact that you need out of it. In Juka swing, unfortunately, no dice.
Yeah, Juka swings through. Unfortunately, not able to find it. It's, in the end, it is the Jet Ultimate expended for Kaho's life. I don't think you're too worried about that in the long haul. If you're the side of Flamingo, you get another round on the board. But the economy is still going to be in decent shape for the side of Keyano at this point in time. It's really only going to be Ambot who isn't able to buy back up here. Goes for the full shields frenzy. That's a combo we haven't seen very often.
Oh, wow.
Juka has the judge because in Crown's absence, someone has to be the rat on the team, and it seems as if Juka is willing to fill that out. Granted, Juka's lurks are sort of notorious as well in this eval sphere for just being very difficult to contend with. Luffy, though, on a very close angle, able to find that kill on the Glow early into the round.
Yeah, interesting you chose the frenzy considering it was nerfed in the most recent patch, right? Most recent balance patch. But he's still rocking with it. I mean, at the ranges it counts that for the frenzy, it's still well choice of a weapon. The drone coming through here, finding but one and the KDL, gonna have to force them to back off here, back into CT. And as we talked about, that ult is just a free side take, but this time it's just a fake. And we're seeing the Keyano College players pulled and, having to pay attention to B site, lest someone come through. Juka with the high angle, looking for a duel on the Senja, but I don't think Senja's gonna give him one. As we see SF Flamingo leaning towards A, pushing up, taking the space, getting ready for that execute. The drone already deep well into sight. I think Keyano has a good idea of what's about to happen. And 9 are coming straight through the smoke.
Uh-oh.
No, nothing with the frenzy yet. But Senjo, though, good shot through the smoke there. Stopping SF Flamingo right in the tracks. This round is pretty much done. But Juka still got one more in them.
Yeah, Juka might try and clean this one up as much as possible. Savo, though, holding this with the operator now. Juka needs to be careful, is not careful. At the very least, gets the other alt orb to clear it out. It's another round in the bag for the side of Keyano. 5-3 still for SFU Flamingo here in map number 1. I want to see if this will continue as a trend where these teams are going to trade rounds back and forth, but eventually these economies are going to start to run dry. On the side of Keyano, they're pretty happy with that one, considering Ambot stayed alive, was able to pick up a weapon after starting out with that frenzy. On the flip side, though, it's a little bit more of a scattered by. Niner with the Guardian, Kaho with the Ares, a Stinger on Juka, a couple of Vandals to round that all out. Stu might even reconsider that to make sure they can buy for next, but nonetheless, once again, looking towards this B site. Savo, though, with that operator, you got to be so careful peeking through tiles.
Oh, they're playing with fire here. But the money's running out, but through the wall, those shots
Niner
are true. As well, Niner up on Cat. forcing Salvo to kind of back off here with the op. But I mean, if SFU Flamingo doesn't get this round through some miracle, like a stinger kill onto Senja, and then the money might run dry here. Hopefully, though, we'll see Spike come down. B-side's pretty much theirs to take. Glow playing danger close, waiting for that smoke to come down.
I think a major factor behind that is just Juka being so aggressive with those Omen TPs, getting right onto site with that stinger, finding that first pick, and now Niner is on a little bit of a lurk here.
Timing.
Might be able to find it here. It doesn't even need it. Bondo hasn't cleared out Niner yet. They don't know where they are. Niner, nice little 90 pull onto Luffy there as well.
Wow.
And now Keyano is just in such rough shape. Can they even get out of this one, knowing that Niner is up through mid, will be taken down by Ambot, but look at this from Glow.
Wow.
Lurks all the way up. It's a 3K for Glow and a 6th round on the board after a little bit of a scattered buy. It still ends up working out in their favor for the side of SFU Flamingo, as now the timeout comes through for the side of Keyano.
And it looks like SFU Flamingo has gotten the round that they needed. You know, they're a little bit low on the money, but they still made it work, and now they're back up. They are so back. And timeout from Keyano. Hopefully you need to make more adaptations. You know, the rounds are starting to pile up here against them, I'd say. They need to change something up here, because there's no way that they let that get away from them.
Yeah, I think they need to sort of rein it all back in just a little bit here. Major factor behind all of it is, you know, SFU Flamingo, we know how strong of a team they are. They are a known quantity in the West. People know how good this team is. And with Keyano, it feels as if this has been sort of their coming out party a little bit, but they need to show that they can still, you know, mess with the top dogs here, especially if they want to consider the implications it has for future tournaments. CVAL being the big one. I always talk about CVAL because that's really your big gun. You want to make sure that you're doing well in that. And West teams notoriously have done okay. It's really only been demigods out of the West who have done things like that. I want to see if Keyano can get themselves in the discussion there. And this is just as a Canadian esports fan, you want to see these schools do well, and doing well against SFU Flamingo is sort of your first step. You want to, you know, take a map off of them, maybe push them to a game 5 if possible. But here already on Ascent, you can just tell there's that slight gap still that exists. And over time, we'll have to see if they can potentially improve on that, or maybe just get themselves going a little bit here, because we've seen what this team can do given the right circumstances. Luffy, forced to clear a boat, is under so much pressure here, is able to take down Glow at the very least. Hunter's Fury gonna come down. That's a tag onto a couple of members as well. They're gonna look for more. It's only gonna be those tags. The Savo just sort of
a Niner. Oh, not quite getting the pick he needed. Unfortunately, Flamingo forced to follow up on the space that Niner has taken. At least attempt to Bondo with the Spectre. I catch one at the close range on Juka. Well done, Knife. Trying to find more. Finds Kaho, but not the KO. That's real close on his right. Let's see which one makes a move first, but Ambot going down to the operator. That is unfortunate. And you will catch Bondo out of position. Looking a lot more even now. 2v3.
Think the health bars.
Yeah, the health bar though, not truly equal, but I think Flamingo might be able to, you know, scrape together around here if they catch one more person off timing. And the Knife finding those rotates, they know each other that they're gonna take B site. I'm gonna see some duels happen here, and not quite for Stu's favor though. Kaho 1 HP, catches Senja still, but the Odin overwhelming.
Yeah, a little bit too much to deal with in that situation, and I think the timeout, you get your value out of it at the end of the day. You're able to convert that round on the back of it. This is something that I've talked about a lot, is how useful are your timeouts? Are you using your timeouts to the best of their abilities? I think that was a strong timeout coming through from Keyano. I want to see if it can snowball that a little bit more to try and even up the half. But once again, this was SFU's map pick. Keyano got their side select. Will that influence the flip side of the map here? They know that they can play this defense quite well, but at the best case scenario, it's a 6-6 half for them. And then they'll switch over to that attack. SFU, they might just be able to shut the door on them once again. Glow all the way up mid. Oh, Luffy through the wall with the Odin, sorry. Nice little cringe play coming through, but instead Glow goes over the top, finds him. Senja trades it out. SFU, though, only 2 members left alive. This is going to be a very challenging, 1 member left alive. This is an even more challenging round for them to win out on Kaho. We'll find Bondo, but still has so many members to try and clear out.
That was a really, really, again, scrappy round, right? We're seeing, people going super, super far lanes just to get the trade. And Kaho, good kill there on the Ambot. 1v2 now. Still possible. I mean, Keyano College's players are separated by a larger deal. Let's see if Kaho can isolate the 1v1s here. That is his win condition. He's to isolate these fights.
I think he needs to isolate one onto Senja. They should know that that operator is in Savo's hands, but now position given away. Savo able to move up a little bit more here. Are you going to be able to find timing? Kaho finds out where that operator is as well, and now it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for the side of Keyano to clear this one out. They've just got to find Kaho. They need to try and shut him down, but look at the repositioning coming through from Savo. They're going to know exactly where they are. The op shot misses. No time left remaining. Does not clear that corner. Senja with a nice little 3K for themselves. And the rolls continue for the side of Keyano off the back of their timeout. They got 2 in a row now.
Yeah, it's like I said, the adaptations, right? Starting to appear, starting to take fruit, really. And we're seeing it in, the round wins. They're playing textbook. They're playing the way they're supposed to. Off the timeout, they need a little reminder, a little huddle. And off that, they're doing really well for themselves. And it's just now that I'd say SFU Flamingo needs to start not playing sloppy. They need to play their roles. They need to do what they need to do. They need to win. Seeing now, mid push. Being way more careful of the op, being mindful. Senja looking, just chilling there, looking at his mollies. And we're seeing this is taken.
Low approach, yeah. Coming
the
through
drone
from
coming
this.
through here may find that there is no one holding tree. This is good news for Flamingo, but still asks the question, where is Keyano? And the op making an appearance in A main. Kaho not quite finding anything with that Silver. Juka finding one with the Marshall though, that's good.
Yeah,
And the shot dart though on the Niner. Niner keeps not pulling the good straws here for utility through walls. And Luffy with the Odin, speaking of through walls, gets one on the Juka. And yeah, as if Flamingo keep finding themselves at sort of a brick wall. They keep pushing onto, what seems to be not quite working for them. Always heavy resistance from Keyano. Probably for one more round.
They've been able to put up the brick wall, as you said. And I think a lot of that has to do with Savo and Luffy just playing together incredibly well. Spotted out both members in tree. Means Savo able to find a nice little pick there. With 13 seconds left, Kaho's going to have to make some magic happen. That's one way to do it. You find a couple for yourself, you pick up a better gun, and you just have to go for the plant at this point. Lockdown going to come through as well, but the plant will be completed. It just comes down to whether Kaho can find the peak at the right time. An up-down totem pole through tree. Bondo gonna shut it down, close out the round, and that's an incredible end to the half coming through from Keyano to tie it up at 6s.
Super well done. At good end of the half from Keyano, but we just need to see if the attack strats are there from them now. As the sides flip, this is where the strat book will come out for them. Hopefully. I mean, they've shown that they can, they can put up a fight. They can, they can make plays. They can stop plays. They can, start running SFU Flamingo for a loop here. They just need to do it on the other side of the map. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think a major factor behind this all is Niner sort of come back down to earth a little bit after an excellent start. On the flip side, Ambot hasn't really showed up as much as we were sort of hyping them up to be. It's really been on Luffy's back here. The 100 ping swings are just a little bit too strong potentially for the side of SFU Flamingo. Sometimes you just have to be in a completely different continent to get those swings to work for you. All jokes aside, though, it's a very good defensive half, all things considered, to tie it up with SFU Flamingo, a team that has done very well on Ascent in the past. And now, with the side swapped, the pressure is on already this B site as Niner.
Big
No util going to be available. They're just pushing him right through here. Sabo going to clear out all of sight. Knows that Niner's in boat, but Niner finds the shot. Is going to look for another one. That's his second. Luffy finally going to find the trade, but nonetheless, numbers disadvantage. It doesn't matter. Luffy finds another one. Ambot from behind.
Yeah, the staggered retake there from Flamingo was not really it. Seeing Glow though, trying to kind of recover the situation, gets for one through the little corner there, the little curb. But he does not know where KO is, or where Omen is. He needs to play this super carefully if he wants this round win. He's gonna hit his shots and get the good positioning to not get traded.
A little bit of a contact play here. Glow.
And unfortunately caught within the pincers of Keyano. See that round, we saw a fast take, right? And that was off the back of suppressing Killjoy. So you suppress Killjoy, all the traps are disabled, right? So it's just more than a green light to just go ahead and rush on to B side there.
Yeah, and of course, you being a Sentinel player yourself know the pains of having to play into something like a KO, especially on some of these maps where, you know, the walls are a little thinner. Got to deal with how cramped it is. KO just gets that extra little bit of value there. Probably not going to see the KO come through on a lot of these other maps with how much, you know, KO has been nerfed as well in the last little bit.
That's true. It's mostly about the molly, but yeah, the knife still a crucial tool here for, you know, teams on Ascent. You know, they really need that suppress in order to sort of break through most setups. And we're seeing here Juke not finding anyone on the long range angle with the Stinger, but they will enter sight here. Base taken heavily, rushing in, but will the Marshals be able to hold? Kyle was good for one. Traded out by Luffy and Bondo though. Kinda good for one. Still though, the weapons making a huge difference here. It's an uphill battle here for Flamingo on the retake.
And it was a light force coming through from the side of SFE Flamingo as well. You know, the Stinger, the Marshal, a couple of Sheriffs. I don't mind seeing those come through, especially if you can land the shots. But unfortunately, Luffy can also just spam through the floor.
Wall bang.
Anything that Kao can do, Luffy can do better.
I mean, it must be a Sova thing, really. Has to be.
Oh yeah, Sovas love to use their you know, wall shots and everything. They just sit behind those walls. You see the Odin now coming through for Kaho, going to be pulling out the same stops. Now the buy comes back the opposite way. There were a couple of guns taken off of the board by the side of SFU Flamingo here. And now it's going to just be a mixed bag across the board. Nah, it's going to be okay, actually. 3 Phantoms, a Vandal, and that Spectre from Juka, who forced up a little bit harder than everyone else. But nonetheless, Keyano now have to play a little bit more cautious, knowing full well that there's full rifles on the opposite side.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Like, before the match started, Flamingo's getting sloppy. You know, they're sloppy with their retakes, a little bit too staggered, and we're seeing kind of plays that don't really work.
Oh!
But this one does, though. This one does. You know, Caster Curse, I mean, Glow, good for 2 there. And Kaho trading it out to win the round. I mean, it's a bonus, you know, it's a little scripted, but still, a round is a round, right?
Yeah.
Starting to see them hopefully make it back through.
Nice little contact play coming through. Good spray down coming through from Kaho as well. And now you just start to even things up once again. If SFU Flamingo are to start to take more control over this game once again, they're going to have to find a round win here. Glow only want to go down there after a very aggressive dash through mid. But that ultimate economy is going to come into play in a couple of rounds here. It's really only Luffy who's been able to pick up kills for the side of Keyano. Everyone else is sort of sitting at that 3-4 tick mark. Whereas on the side of SFU Flamingo, it's everyone 1 or 2 points away from their ultimates here. And that's what's going to become pivotal. Not this round per se, but very likely into the next round here. The only one who's kind of far away is Omen, and Omen's ultimate is like kind of terrible.
Yuka for 2, playing with fire against Keyano, highly confident plays here. So this is what I'm talking about. I mean, just getting all the value you can, and now Keanu's kind of on the back foot. Kaho, hopefully retracing Juka's footsteps here, trying to deny Keyano as much as possible. Again, more of a solo play, but now he has the backup of Jet. Taking the angle now. Keyano gonna have to make something work out of almost nothing.
And it's been an extremely long time spent in A main here for the side of Keyano, where they haven't really been able to find much progress. They got shut down by Ajuka on the initial contact, and now they're forced to rotate over towards this B site. You can see Niners just sort of sitting in mid, holding down mid with that alarm bot, keeping in range of all that utility. And as soon as this turret goes off, it'll just be that signal that they have to rotate over. They're going to try and find that contact. There it is, as Ambot actually going to jump into Mark here, finds a nice little angle into Niner that removes that utility from play now. But with 10 seconds left, there's not a whole lot of time to plant. SFU Flamingo a little bit behind on this play, though, as Keyano will get the spike down, but those health bars, specifically on Ambot, going to be something to worry about. One shot's going to do it for this Omen.
Yeah, the Sobol coming through here. Pivotal damage here. This might be the difference maker. And Ambot good for one. Sandra trading. No one actually. Just gets just cleaning it up really. But yeah, super well done from Keyano. They were on the back foot. They caught Niner, who was a little bit lazy with the angle clearing, and made a round out of, you know, being disadvantaged. And it worked out well.
Of course, now Glow with those knives. Going to be really important to make sure they don't get suppressed this time around either, as Ambot, since the half, you know, has been able to pick up 5 kills for themselves, starting to climb back up that leaderboard, starting to fill into the shoes that we've set for them in a way. Juka is going to be taking first contact there. A quick push onto A site. They're just going as fast as possible. They want to change things up from that last round, but look at all the damage being dealt. Kaho spraying and praying there. Glow going to find another one. Sendra does trade one out, but once again, A main is not the play for Keyano. It's been 2 or 3 rounds in a row where they've just been going to A and they get shut down immediately.
Yeah, I think Flamingo has noticed, you know, a bit of an over-rotation here. Now they're kind of floating around the midpoint, not sure where to go. Keyano not giving up too much information on what's going on, but Stu with the flash gets a kill with it. Luffy, though, will catch Glow in the corner. And now Keyano will make their way onto A. The door will be closed. Hopefully the plant as well, yep. And Stu and Niner are going to have to make a well-coordinated retake here. And Luffy, you know, he's looking for those, you know, shots through the floor, I believe, again. Shock dart coming through here. Waiting for the drop. This is a time and time again, we see this type of situation. And the flash, but a little bit too much forward. Good trade from Niner, though, to correct that. Now 1v1. KJ versus KJ. Senja, Niner. Spike ticking down. Making the drop. And Senja take notice, and good shot! Getting the round there for Keyano College. 10-7. Starting to, you know, start to get away with it here.
Yeah. The snowball is starting to build here, especially in terms of the rounds. Getting to double digits is a major factor for any of these teams. And now you look at the full buy on one side, you look at the not so much of a buy from the side of SFU Flamingo, where they're sort of stuck in their own wallets. They've got some sheriffs, a stinger as usual on Juka. What can you really do to sort of break out of this mold for SFU Flamingo? Now we sort of have to put the shoe on the other foot, where Keyano College have come through on their attacking side with 4 excellent rounds out of the first 5. And they're going to potentially find this 5th one with how much they've got in the inventory here. Sabo's going to start it off by just rushing in onto site. Will get tagged out here by this Hunter's Fury. And Haho going to shut it down. Senjo will trade it back. But now A site is just all left open here. The over rotation, as you mentioned, from SFU Flamingo.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, we're seeing players getting caught out in the open. We're seeing over rotations. SFU Flamingo not quite playing textbook. I mean, they gotta make do with their substitutions, right? But still, they know what they need to do. They just need to actually play at the level that they're capable of. And we're seeing a drone finding KO there in heaven. And Defender Killjoy for the retake here, the ult. We're gonna see, unfortunately, Keyano gonna have to back out, but Glow good for one, traded out by Senja. Omen TP here, getting behind the defense, canceled. Oh! And it's good for 2! High play here, not quite getting Niner. Niner for 2 with the headshot with the Sheriff though. Again, 1v1 with the KJ. Very well within Senja's favor. Oh! Niner still gets a kill. Not enough time though, unfortunately. Well-placed shots, but the timer ran down from, you know, the over-rotation from Flamingo.
Yeah, it was a good ultimate. It was good for them to take control of that site. but a great ultimate coming through from Ambot just to get out of that lockdown, jump back in.
Exactly. And, you know, they weren't expecting that, right? I mean, he just reappeared behind two guys, gets both of them, almost a third. And that's what really gave Keyano the round. I mean, Niner put up a good attempt there with the sheriff shots, but it's still, you're out of time.
Of course, 2 rounds to go for Keyano to find a map off of SFU Flamingo. This is what Keyano fans wanted to see. A strong start coming through from their team. This revamped roster that's really looking to make waves in the West this year, specifically in terms of the Canadian teams. We've all heard of SFU. We've all heard of UBC's team. We've all heard of U Alberta's team. Keyano wants to get into that conversation as well. Glow going to split the uprights with that op shot and now forced all the way back. This drone even going to clear out even more space. Glow just forced the dash out, doesn't have the information necessary. Salvo's just being a pest on the opposite site. That forces out all of Niner's util as well. Still might look for the execute.
Yeah, we're seeing, you know, Flamingo being a little bit more stoic of the rotates here, but Juka caught out. But Niner will trade. Salvo will be punished for his little overextension there. Niner gets straight through the smoke. Good crosshair placement will get him that kill. Now it's a 2v4 on the side of Keyano. And I believe that they understand that there's no one at B side, so it's just they can just take it.
Yeah,
Keyano, I think a bunch of SFU Flamingo bunched up over at A site when they're really not there. Kaho gonna have to hold at least one person down. Oh, but Senja outsmarting and will get that kill. Posted up against the corner. I think he can get one more here.
Potentially, especially if Blue's the first one to peek here. Senja! That's 3 picked up.
And now it's a 1v1. We went from a 2v4 to a 1v1. We're back here with Niner having to 1v1. It's looking super dicey here for Flamingo, especially with the spike counting down. All the Luffy has to do is wait.
Luffy has the ultimate as well if they want to expend it in this round. Niner thinks that they've cleared out everything. There's half at least. Yeah, Niner's just going to look around.
Oh, the timing! And Luffy will get it! Amazing plays here from Senja. Taking out 3. Goes behind Kaho. Posts up against the off, like, super rare corner. And then they just push through without clearing it. And he just gets 2, like, just like that. And then it's even.
Yeah, incredible stuff coming through from them. And now backs up against the wall in a lot of ways. It's Kaho with an Ares, there's a Guardian, there's a couple Bulldogs. This isn't the buy that you want to have when your lives are on the line, at least for this map. Keyano College have done a great job of finding picks when they need to, finding rounds when they need to, and really flipping the script on this map. It was a 6-6 defense. They picked that side. Normally, you would expect them to put up a little bit more of a crooked number, but now you look at this. 6 rounds on the attack already for themselves. Senja finding an early pick onto Niner makes this hold so much more difficult as they Killjoy util just taking off the table. Stu under stress. Will find 1 at the very least. The push forward from Bondo is still worrisome. Stu finds 3. He's finding everything for this team. He will get tagged with 1 shot of that Hunter's Fury, but Juka has already lurked up. SFU Flamingo say, okay, you know what? They got 12. That's enough. We're not going to give him that last round quite yet. Ambot will get shut down. Great stuff coming through from SFU Flamingo.
12-8. Not too big of a differential when you think about it, and especially with a team as much experience playing together like Flamingo has. You know, they've been through this before. They've seen this, especially like, you know, back in group stage. It was another comeback scenario, and I think if Flamingo, you know, starts showing their star power like they just have from Stu and the rest of their members, they can make this comeback. However, Keyano, more, you know, I think they have a timeout in the back just waiting, and if they want to use it, they can, just to secure this map. I'd say it would be pretty wise of them to do so.
Low though. Playing aggressively this time around. Gonna spam down one of those common angles. Look at how aggressive they're playing though. Kaho's here as well. Go gonna get a couple shots down onto Luffy. The one-way smoke, the spray coming through as well. Lots of damage taken by Keyano College. Will they commit to the play though? Bondo about 2 shots down. Same with Ambot. Even worse for wear are Savo and Luffy. I think they might just back off of this one. This might be a round where they're going to have to work uphill considering their health bars. And with no Sky or no Sage to top you off, you're just going to be in real rough shape.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of like seeing Juka and Niner push up A main here. Should Keyano try to rotate, that would be a significant roadblock for them. However, I think Keyano's pretty committed to taking B side here. Would be very difficult though. Glow catching Bondo out in the open. And hopefully the teammates looking for the trade through. Good jiggle, they're getting the info and sprays through smoke. Super chipped. If they linger a little bit too long in the smoke, they might catch a stray bullet here. Speaking of strays, Glow cementing himself here in logs. It's a really good position, but Kaho catching Senja out just like that. Salvo and Luffy going down as well. Low health bars and a flawless round from SFU Flamingo.
That's a good answer, I think, especially considering it was a little bit of a save round coming through from Keyano. They know that they've got that a little bit of a cushion for themselves, I want to say, in terms of the round differential right now, where they can have a round that isn't as excellent as the rest. But now you look at this side, the ultimates are starting to come back for the side of SFU Flamingo, and this is what's important. Stu has the ultimate available, Niner has a lockdown available, Juka has From the Shadows available to rotate around a little bit quicker. Still have to be cautious about Ambot and Senja with their ultimates in their own right. But nonetheless, SFU Flamingo still have a little bit of an advantage, and I think now they're starting to tighten up this defense a little bit more. These last two rounds have been more convincing than I think we've seen from them this entire map. That's what's important from my eyes.
I mean, I do love a good comeback story, but should Keyano lose this map, it may take a large mental toll, I'd say. I mean, just knowing you had them right in your palm of your hands, right? You need to see Keyano starting to... You're gonna have to make some plays, simply put. Kaho with the early info. Not finding much. Good spray, by the way. Both teams playing equally slow here. Not quite extending past, their allotted space. Pretty much waiting in their spawn. I think a smoke come down on the A. Hopefully trying to bait some SFU Flamingo players over. Good suppress though. Still chilling on top. And we're gonna
Spike
see...
is towards A as well. So slowly but surely,
rotating over.
It's rotating over at this point. Salvo just trying to find any last members here, but now Glow affords the ability to take some space. The drone.
Yeah, that should let him know what's going on. As he retreats back to site. Omen ult's waiting for
Yeah, both Omens ulted in the same spot there. Kaho not going to be able to answer that one. Senja is able to find that kill. Senja finds the second one as Glow takes down Bondo. Now at the back here, Glow gonna find another one. Yeah. Juka peeking off of that. That's gonna be great. Now you just have to play time here. Juka will shut it down at the end. Niner was still alive with that ultimate if necessary. It's another round on the board for the side of SFU Flamingo, and now Keyano forced to save once again. We're gonna be going down to potentially round 24 to decide if this map is going to end when it does. And now the timeout comes through for the side of Keyano. They know they need to take these timeouts. They know they need to play as patiently as possible, because SFU Flamingo, especially under the pressure here, are going to be able to convert even when it doesn't look as if they can. Right,
and we see, adaptation from Flamingo, right? They're playing more slow. They're playing not really too, jittery on their sides. They're staying right where they need to be. And it paid off well last round when, Keyano was waiting for them to push up. They were waiting for Flamingo to make these mistakes, and they just never came. So when the timer came down to the lower amounts, then they had to hit a site. Flamingo was ready, and the retake was ready, and they were coordinated, and they did what they needed to do, like I said. And now Keyano are punished for their mistakes. Now they need to make an adaptation, and they're talking about it now in the timeout probably. We're gonna see what happens.
Depends on what adaptations they're willing to make as well, because Luffy has sort of been their win condition this entire time, having a great game. Senja as well has started to find those shots, but it's really the rest of the supporting cast that needs to rise up for the side of Keyano as well. You can't just roll over and die against the team like SFU Flamingo. They will pounce on every single opportunity that they are given. 3 in a row picked up for themselves. The momentum factor comes into play as well. Immediately scanned out as Luffy. Just going to be forced to back off here. Once again, they're playing slow with the weaponry that they have. Maybe would have just liked to see them just run down a site and see if they can just catch someone off guard, get that spike down, and at least put SFU Flamingo into a little bit of a pressure chamber.
Yeah, we're seeing slow gameplay here once again, more spread out. Of course, I mean, Gola has the op open. He wants to catch someone. He needs to, you know, keep holding the space, but the smoke making him a little bit hard to do so. The drone will come through from Luffy, clearing out the mains here, trying to see, what they got to work with. The knife catching no one as well. It's just, trading information utility back and forth pretty much, trying to see, where the other team is, what they're planning and how they might go about it. Juka, just jiggling cat. It looks like both teams kind of looking towards an alien here, an explosive entry here from Savo. Now they're gonna have to hold it down, and Juka assists him in doing so. And unfortunately, good spray from Niner, catching two there on the light shields and pushing through the smoke. Hold on, he wants one more, doesn't get it, but Gola trades. Well done.
Yeah, great stuff coming through from Flamingo. They hold their line of scrimmage once again. Came down to those last 30 seconds, and I think that might have been the play that they had cooked up for the side of Keyano. They just wanted to make sure they pulled a trigger at the right time, but now Bullseye's coming the opposite way. 5 Phantoms across the board. The only real gaff there is the light shields on Luffy. Nonetheless, will SFU Flamingo be able to push this to overtime once again? That is the main question here.
I mean, even though they're up in score, Keyano is starting to feel like they're up against the wall now. Kind of bunched up here in A main. They're cooking up something devious. Good knife, catching Juka there. Hopefully they can infer what that scan will mean for his position. And the drone might reveal more than SFU Flamingo wants. Never mind, only used to check one, I guess. Dart coming out from Luffy. And the ult. Alright, this is really good for Keyano here. They're gonna have to take sight off this, or else they may never take a sight on this round. But Juka still staying strong here in the corner, looking for one, but he's blinded and detained. Savo doesn't know where he is yet. And
Savo hasn't spotted him.
What the hell?
At all. Finally does at the last second, and Juka will be able to give enough information over. Niner finds a pick on a center, finds another one. Now the time pressure's on. You have to rush this lockdown. It's gonna be 1-2 detained here. Niner able to find a third kill for themselves, and that spike is down. Savo is hidden in hell. Will be able to get out of the detain in time. Keyano, do they have enough here? Stu versus Ambot. Do you have enough here?
He turned around. Wow, what is these scrappy round finishes that we've been, sort of expecting. And of course, SFU Flamingo ends up making and going the distance to overtime. And on off 2 HP as well. Incredible kill from Savo in hell. Right after the hitting ended, he was able to, even it up. It seemed almost impossible there when the KDO went down, but they fought back. That's what mattered. And now it's overtime.
5 rounds in a row going in favor of the side of SFU Flamingo. Really have to wonder if maybe that pressure is starting to get to Keyano a little bit here. Maybe just worried that they're throwing their lead too hard. And sometimes it's just the idea that you could be throwing that can cause you to throw, in a sense.
Yeah, it's sort of a mental battle here as well. I mean, with a map as long as this one, it's starting to take a toll surely. And we're seeing sort of a pinch up here on the fence of Keyano. Glow coming straight through Mark and caught straight through the wall on Luffy. That's really unfortunate. Oh, good for one, looking for another. Dashes straight through the smoke. Looks like a 2v3 retake didn't happen, but Juko lurking in mid. He's waiting for that market push, and he may get it, but will the duel go in his favor? This is potentially round determining here. And Savo going for the pinch.
Yeah, Savo's coming from behind. Juka will end up going down. Glow, though, with 6 HP, finds the peak on Descendra, finds a third!
Good shot from Glow! Wow, triple kill for him on this round. Starting to look, starting to look a little bit, match point for Flamingo.
Yeah, it's 6 rounds in a row for Flamingo as well. That's what's important. They have the momentum in their favor. The strats have just sort of run dry for the side of Keyano in a sense. And now you're left to your last gasp in a way.
So
What
Keanu's
will
last stand
occur?
here. If they have any more tricks in the bag, I'd suggest that this is the round to pull it off.
You'll have to find something. And for the first time, it feels like this. They want to try and find some presence mid. Glow almost able to get that nice little peek on the Savo, unable to land the shots. Knife even still going to be shot down. Ambot has taken a whole bunch of shots as well. Savo is tagged with the bolt as well. Going to have to be very cautious in that escape.
Kaho and
Damage was done.
with the Odin.
Yeah.
This is devastating for Keyano. I mean, kind of looking for one more here, sending his util out. A little bit anti-Flamingo, spreading themselves out once again, preparing for either site.
Juka just
This
sitting
spike
here.
is rotating towards B here. If they choose to commit, they will have to run into the KJ util. And the dart, Kaho just got back, so he can choose to confirm presence here, and it looks like the site take will commence.
Oh my goodness, the tag came down onto Luffy, so Niner is aware of the position.
Kaho
takes advantage of it.
Niner
right on his own team.
Kaho holding it down more than enough here. Even though they still go on the site, they still have Luffy in a sort of bad position.
Savo's 1 HP.
Exactly, and a 3v5 here in favor of Flamingo. This very well could be the map point here. Planting now. Luffy playing with fire here, peeking Kaho like that, and he will get burned. Savo though with the trade off the Niner. 2v3, a little bit more even now. But the Silva ult, super detrimental for Keyano. Will catch Bondo. No ways, though. Wait,
Not quite yet.
Not quite yet. And the map is over for the side of SFU Flamingo. Was it 7 rounds in a row?
Yeah, 7 rounds in a row to close it out. SFE Flamingo are able to claw it all the way back on Ascent to take a 1-0 series lead here over Keyano College. Same map score as last time they played it out. That was on Haven in the first round robin there, but nonetheless, good stuff coming through from both of these teams. I think Keyano were really able to lay down the law in a way as well to say, hey, don't take us lightly here. But SFE Flamingo, they still end up on top.
Absolutely. I mean, that is their map pick. It is to be expected, but still way too close for comfort for Flamingo, right? They had to win 7 rounds in a row in order to make that happen. I mean, they did pull it off. Keyano will feel like, they will feel the effects of that map loss, right?
Yeah, especially losing 7 in a row to close it out. But nonetheless, we are going to switch gears, go over to Lotus for a second map. We are going to take a short break, though. When we come back, we are going to be getting into Keyano's first map pick here, which is that Lotus. We'll see what SFE Flamingo are able to do on it. We'll be right back. And welcome back, everyone, to the CIE Grand Finals of our Valorant tournament here. SFU Flamingo strike first with map 1 victory on Ascent. Keyano College looking to strike back with the Fury here on map 2, it being Lotus. Of course, my name is Rare Adam, joined alongside Lunr here. And I think that the first map was a little bit too chaotic for Flamingo's liking in a sense. Going down 12-7 isn't what any team really wanted. Yes, they are able to scrap out the win, but it was a little bit hairy there for a little bit in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, in the middle, like, Flamingo felt really secure. They felt like they had it, but it wasn't quite true yet. They started getting sloppy. They started making mistakes. Keyano caught on, like I predicted. And, you know, it turns out that they indeed took their map win after, you know, kind of locking in there 7 rounds in a row, right? Really amazing stuff.
Yeah, it shows the grit and determination that comes through from a team like SFU Flamingo. This is a team that has been put on the ropes before. They had to go through the lower bracket to win their CVAL Spring title as well. You know, it wasn't easy. They lost to UBC in 4 maps in the upper finals. They have to play through the lowers. They have to play in grands, and they end up taking it 3-1 as well. So I want to see if they can continue that trend of winning here in the CIE. Of course, trying to do BC proud as well. Try to take down Alberta. Can't let Alberta get any titles, you know. Alberta? Nah, they didn't win a CVAL title. That's all in BC for them. So, you know, a little bit of intra-provincial rivalries, whatever it is. Nonetheless, on to Lotus we go. And I am excited to see this one come through. Once again, it will be Keyano starting out on the defense, but we've got a couple of interesting hovers already. Kaho currently hovering the Chamber, and this is the only map really where Chamber is picked up, I think.
See if he follows through with that hover there. Chamber is a most recently buffed character, right? They gave his teleporter less delay, less cooldown, and
I was trolling
a little
actually.
Faster. Oh yeah, he's a little trickster. That guy. He's a little silly fella. And probably a standard comp here, double duelist. But I mean, Keyano has just a raise. They have the Viper Omen. Really interesting to see come out here, as well as a Sky. But
I think starting on the defense as well, sometimes we'll see comps sort of molded around that in a sense. You want the double smokes because it controls a little bit more space. You're guaranteed to get those 12 rounds on defense, and sometimes those comps do come through. On the opposite side, though, the double duelist, you got your 12 rounds on attack. You want to make sure that you're sort of putting pedal to the metal there. Ends up being sort of the opposite comp there, the double duelist for SFU Flamingo, as they are going to start on that attacking side. So we'll see if the trend continues, whether SFU Flamingo are going to force it into overtime once again against Keyano, or if they're going to be able to sort of stick it to him this time around. Something to keep note of as well, SFU Flamingo are quite good at Lotus. This was a map that they were picking up a lot in CVAL. This is one of their favorite maps as well. I'm sure they don't mind that Keyano said, hey, you know what? We'll take map 2 onto Lotus. I want to see what the evolution is here for Flamingo.
Yeah, it's just more of a matter of, you know, playing to their strengths, right? Adapting, like I said. But yeah, this double duelist comp that Flamingo has, it really allows them to make use of, you know, they know they're confident in their mechanics and they want to use it. So double duelist is the right choice for them. On the other hand, Keyano might have, you know, maybe a little bit more free ball going, and this balanced comp is good for that, especially on the defense side, where you want as much utility as possible to retake site.
Of course, but on to the map we go here. As mentioned before, SFU Flamingo going to start on that attack, and especially considering how attack-sided Lotus can be, I want to see them come through with, you know, 8, 9, 10 rounds on the attack here to really prove that, you know, they are the better team than Keyano here, because thus far Keyano have had their number in a lot of senses. It's come up short twice, but it hasn't been by much. Great paint shells, though, to open up that round. As Plant just put onto B, they're pressing this one as quickly as possible, as Savo and Luffy just going to be taken down before they're even given a chance to exist. A shorty, though, from Kaho, and it's just cleaning house for the side of SFU Flamingo. Senja with 73 HP, 21 HP, 0 HP. That was the fastest round we've seen thus far from Flamingo.
Holy, yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? With the aggression, they want to make use of what their strengths are in this case. It's their mechanics. They're really confident, and they made use of it, and that's exactly what we saw showcased here in that first pistol round. They were taking space aggressively, they were taking space fast, and they hit their shots, they got the round. Now we're seeing some super risky economy plays here from the side of SFU Flamingo. Seeing a Vandal and a Phantom for Niner and Glow respectively.
They want to make sure that they're continuing to press their leads, and especially on a map like Lotus, which does have some of these long angles, it's always curious to see whether teams will opt for the Phantom or the Vandal. But interestingly enough, it's the pistols that are starting to win out here. Savo's found 2 alongside Luffy, and now SFU Flamingo need to rethink their approach. Granted, it is now back down to a 3v2. Those rifles are still in the inventory, though. Niner needs to be careful. Going around the corner, gets shut down by Senja. What is going on? This map is just so quick. It's a thrifty picked up by Keyano.
No. As fast as, we saw their strength showcase, we also saw SFU Flamingo's weakness, and that is their hubris. They were very sloppy with that take. Yeah, and we saw Niner just getting plain out caught in the open. He had a rifle, he had more than enough means to catch Senja lacking there, but we just saw them just get folded because of their own silly little mistakes. And as we see in this next round, now Flamingo kind of the tides turn around here. I mean, they got one Bulldog, but the rest of them are kind of hanging on their precision weapons like the Sheriff and the Marshal. Keyano under their hand, full buy here. Need to see some, some tightening up here from SFU Flamingo, some locking in, and they're kind of taking sight kind of fast though, even though the spike's over in B, like in between B and C main. Luffy though, catching Juka off. Unfortunate positioning from him there.
Catches
looks like, yeah, it looks like Flamingo are making their way back around.
It's a lot of presence that's exerted towards this A site before they sort of back off. A nice, cutesy little angle coming through from Stu as they find a kill onto Ambot. Senja gonna turn that one back around. Does take a nice Marshall shot for their troubles. But now holding down the back here, Luffy has the angles. The plant will be finished off. Nice shot from Kaho. And now into the post plant, a 3v3. Who cares who has the better guns? It does not matter. These teams, the credits are a myth. You don't need strong guns to win rounds.
Yeah, it's gotta be opposite day today, because I honestly expected Flamingo to completely roll this round. But, as it turns out, it might not be the case, but 3v2 here now. Kaho giving it a little bit up early. And now here comes a swing. Savo, Stu though with the Bulldog not quite getting it, but he still put Keyano a lot through like a fight, massive fight there, even though they had much superior weapons. It's really interesting to see how teams trying to play around having sort of weaker weaponry as the round plays out.
Yeah, and Senja there taking a lot of damage, but able to stay alive. That is the pivotal point of the whole ordeal, and still, despite the messy round, Keyano's still going to be able to buy back up. It's basically a full buy as well for the side of SFU Flamingo, apart from Juka, who seems to just want to force every single round. Only has the Spectre this time, but still not the worst case scenario. Now, looking at the strategies coming through for Flamingo, they've just been trying to play this at a breakneck pace. It's been 3 rounds in what feels like 4 or 5 minutes. And I want to see if they continue that trend or if they're going to start to slow things down. It just feels as if Juka has like a hot date or something and just wants to get out of here.
Yeah, he's kind of, just playing this out by ear, really. And as we can see, that's what happens when you do that. You get caught out by Bondo. Good shots from him. And as, we're going to see Flamingo just flood on the B site. Bomb goes down. I'm seeing if Sky and Omen try to take Breakable here, they're just going to get completely caught out by the double hole here. Then the Flash might make an aggressive play, but not yet, though. Looking for the anti, and the indeed answer that you just get washed out with the shots from Flamingo.
Yeah, the kill feed there. And the kill feed just flooded in like 5 seconds. Once again,
yeah, it's in like a blink of an eye, really.
These teams just they've got other stuff. You know what? They don't want to miss out on the fireworks for tonight. That's what's going on. They're excited for Canada Day festivities.
Oh, of course.
But now tied up once again at 2s. SFU Flamingo, once again, we talked about it off the rip. It's an attacker-sided map. You want to see them start to put up a nice big number to start this one out. Trading these first 4 rounds back and forth, it's been anything but typical though, and that concerns me a little bit. Not only for SFU Flamingo, but also for Keyano, who seem to be wanting to match the pace in a way. And while some rounds they are successful, the other rounds they're just getting wiped before you can even start to think about a retake.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to match pace is a really dangerous game, especially when you're not used to, playing at that speed, right? You have to stick with the set plays, trying to stick with, playing off each other. That's what Keyano needs to win these rounds. Unfortunately, if they try, doing this even a little bit hasty, they will fall short. And you're seeing, see the dodging through, scouting out B. Looks like another B take here. And, Glow and will come through. Breakable here. The double duelist comp making work and just up and over Topo getting that another kill. Excellent play there. And sealing Ambot being a little bit wary with the KJ util. Niner will open the door. Maybe take a little duel. No, not quite just yet. But 2v4. Keyano on the back foot. Ambot opening the door here.
It's once again an aggressive play that ends up paying off for Flamingo. Kaho gonna find another one. Ambot just trying to toy with this one a little bit. Niner
wide
off the swing.
Yep.
Yeah, might as well.
Are you seeing these rounds much more decisively going towards the way of SFU Flamingo, right? Seeing like just completely washing them out in maybe 1 or 2 seconds at a time. And just Keyano can't keep up. Now on the back foot again, Sheriffs only. I mean, we've seen this before, round 2 when they're favored despite the weapon disadvantage, so hopefully they can do that again. Seeing fast C, perhaps, from Flamingo. See how it plays out here, the flash.
I mean, look at the counter strat as well. We can see it's 4 members towards B. The rotation's going to come through incredibly quickly onto the site as well. Glow gets shut down by Senja. Nice little head tap there. Of course, going to be traded out by Stu and Niner. Niner going to find a second for themselves. And despite the strategy being just sort of stack up on B and rotate as necessary, SFU Flamingo find the site. They've still got 3 ultimates to use. Niner could opt to use that lockdown if they so desire. But sort of pinching in through spawn. The only one who's left on site here is Juka, which is interesting. Both through waterfall. We'll see what Keyano can do.
A lot of space taken by Flamingo here.
Ooh.
And Luffy, a little headshot for him on the Juka. And Kalu, though, straight behind in the flank. I'm not sure if Keyano is aware of the possibility, but Nana doing all he can to stall, really, with the mollies that KJ... What is the strength is here. And Kalu will catch one, looking for the second, and he gets it. Winning round 6.
Yeah, good stuff from Kaho. Literally lurking from A all the way through to behind C. Good little lurk play, and that's what happens when you have this double duelist. You have someone who can get in onto site. It's been Glow every single time being that first point of contact. Yes, they're going down, but hey, that's the duelist's job. You're just supposed to get in onto site, force out a bunch of util, force their aim to go all over the place, and then you can punish in kind. Of course, on the flip side, for Keyano, their strategies have been a little bit all over the place. That last round, it was 4 stack onto B. Now no one on B once again, but they might have read this one out just a little bit better. There's multiple members towards C. Asamo throws those paint shells, trying to punish the aggression. It actually takes down Kaho, who might not have been the first point of contact, ends up going down. Stu trades it out.
Yeah, a lot of scrappiness going on in C main here, just going back and forth, hitting the nade, peeking 2 people and going down, but the Skyle will catch Ambot there as if Flamingo makes their way over to A. Gonna have to run into a KJ setup though. Might have to be a large detriment in their path. But as we can see, the Keyano members are just not leaning towards A in the slightest. They're waiting for that B take, but it's not gonna happen. Neither. First point of entry here on the A. Does see that alarm bot. Oh, they have similar ideas.
Yeah, I just wanted to sort of mark out where it was to prevent Stu from walking over it. And Stu with 5 HP, not really in the best of situations to deal with all of that util as well. Lockdown will be invested though, as SFU Flamingo try and stick it to him this time around. Niner though, going to be going up into heaven. Are they going to peek?
I think they will. I mean, the flash, they could have, but maybe not the right option when they're all bunched up from the KJ ult. and a lot of time to retake here. And their own KJ ult, and that's they're gonna try to make use here. I'm afraid they're gonna have to push through stairs here. Luffy being
quick.
very aware of this possibility, and the swing from Niner turned around a little bit too quick, and the lockdown is destroyed. 5 HP though, a dog coming through here trying to hopefully get at least one kill, but the 5 HP will make it hard. Ambot through the wall on the Stew, securing round number 3 for Keyano. Well done.
Yeah, they get one back, and that's important because the economy was starting to get out of control on the opposite side. You can see Niner maxing out on creds. Kaho was very close to that as well. Juka should be able to get bought up a gun here. Kaho gonna hand that over. Now with those knives available, can just opt for something like a Bucky. You can go and get a little bit busy with it. Nonetheless, I like these strategies coming through from both teams. Keyano sort of get themselves back in the right mindset there. They find some early picks. They match the aggression on C site. But now it's the same strategy coming through. 4 members towards C. They're going to fight for mount control. The Viper ultimate, though, going to make it incredibly difficult to fight through here. And that door might just be the trap that they're setting.
Yeah, and we're just seeing how Flamingo's reacting to this Viper ult. It kind of looks like they want to perhaps go through it with the dog. Kind of scoping it out. If anyone's waiting in there. Unfortunately, Juka, though, way deep in the other side of the map. Trying to make play still with his util. Might have to run into a KJ here, though. If he sets off that alarm button, might as well be his end.
You can see it, though, here. I think.
Yeah, he definitely knows where it is. And the TP across. Oh, but Bondo! Double kill for him. Triple over the course of this round. Juka still making his way across. In their spawn. Fortunately, Flamingo is split. Completely split. The cancel there, I believe that was an Omen ult. And
I believe so. Just to scout out where Juka might have been as well.
Oh.
Nonetheless, Bondo finds a 4th kill for themselves onto Juka. Bondo looking for the hammer here. Glow gonna try and plant the spike down somewhere. But Senja is behind them just to spam down. The turret spots it out as well. Are they gonna try and give it over to Bondo as well? That might be the case. Bondo, 25 HP in a dream, has to try and make it happen. Glow, not going to be able to find it. And that's an ace for Bondo, all things considered, off of an incredible lurk up mid, and then just great rotations.
Yeah, Bondo had an amazing round there. He made his play. It worked very well, and that was the round win condition for Keyano. And we saw, like, as if Flamingo, even though Juka had the hard lurk across the map, you just saw them get completely, like, split across. You know, picked off one by one. Bondo, I mean, he got the timing on 2 of them, got that real quick. Unfortunately, I believe Flamingo has to lock in once again if they want to get away with this half.
I think good pick from Juka to open it up. Seeker's going to come through as well. They know where the sky is now. Juka needs to be careful. 3 HP, survives once again. Going to be rolling over to the mobile ambulance Stew to try and help things out here, but all this control, all this presence that they make known towards A is simply a bait for what comes towards C. Exactly the play as Niner might have just found a little bit of timing. No, it's Ambot who finds the timing instead. Niner shut down before they're able to get off the ground. The plant will be finished up by Stew here, and now they're just playing for holding down that wallbang angle.
Yeah, it's super. Back to textbook form here, really, from SCP Flamingo, and we're seeing the nade.
Oh,
yeah, just pretty much done. Going down the glow. 3v4 retake here. Bondo hoping to make another play, but just completely caught out by Kaho. Kaho with a triple kill. I see scrappy moments, right? He's blow for blow. You know, this is what makes and decides rounds here. Actually, it goes in Flamingo's favor. They want these moments to happen, so that they could, you know, out-aim confidently their opponents and win.
I think a major thing as well is that the more chaotic the round is, the better it seems to be for SFE Flamingo. They live and thrive in the chaos, and Keyano aren't always able to match stride in a lot of times. We'll have to see if that continues to be the trend throughout not only this map, but future maps as well. But SFE Flamingo with 5 up on the board here on Keyano's map pick. Ambot just going to be able to find an early pickup for themselves, but with 5 HP in the docket here, needs to be incredibly careful about taking any peeks here. Gonna be looking for the sky this time. No, Glow gonna shut it down before Ambot's able to get that extra little health bar.
Yeah, we see Keyano very down on their money this round. They're running with shares. Unfortunately, that allows Flamingo to just completely run wild with regards to taking space. And we're seeing a bunch of them grouping up here at Heaven, hopefully taking a player. It's good swing from Kaho, catching Salvo off guard with a nade. And the smokes will come through. Unlikely to get any picks though. Kaho good for 3 again this round. Playing way too good. Senja though, Kaho for 4. Excellent round from Flamingo. Just completely running over Keyano, using their superior weapons. And we're seeing another full buy come through and a timeout. Wow. What do you think they're gonna do with that?
I think this timeout is more so just to wrest control back in their favor. You know, they were able to win that Thrifty in round 2, capitalize on their better weaponry in round 3, but then since then, on even buys or on buys where they're behind, Keyano haven't been able to find anything. That one round they find is still a rather close one, all things considered. It needs an ace coming through from Bondo to really force anything out. But nonetheless, I think that overall SFU just have a better read on how to play this map, in a sense. So I think Keyano just need to simplify things, keep it simple a little bit, try and find some strategies that are less aggressive or can counter the aggression that SFU Flamingo go for. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see a 5v5 retake or something along those lines to try and change things up.
That would be an excellent adaptation for Keyano to make. Yeah, you're completely right. They just need to stop Flamingo right in the tracks, you know, kind of wrestle back the pace of the round, really, because Flamingo's clearly playing way too fast for Keyano to catch up. So Keyano needs to slow things down using their utility. You know, they have Viper, they have Killjoy, they have Sky, a lot of things that can stop, you know, or isolate an attacker like Glow right in the middle of sight. And hopefully they, you know, talked about those type of things in their timeout. You see this round play out here, even by, right? Maybe Flamingo will continue their snowball, or Keyano will kind of get one back on the board. Juka though, early teleport, and you're seeing this aggression come through, straight through the Viper wall, straight into the Killjoy setup. This is what I'm talking about. See, if someone were to swing below right here, he would be down, but a little bit too safe from Keyano. And here comes the people. You have Glow for 2 there. Excellent play. Luffy kind of hoping to pick one off, but before the smoke comes through.
Yeah, and Juka just having a couple of games there on the rope. Will be traded back. Emma will find Glow. Luffy finds a kill and Juka with the dog? What the dog do? It's gonna find a kill there. But now 3v2 on the retake. Niner just sitting in the smoke stew, literally crouching on that box. Great contact play as Niner now left in the 1v2. Has to try and find shots. It's down to 10 HP. Keyano once again taking advantage of the timeout, finding the round win in return. It will be full buys for both of these teams going into the final round before the half.
And yeah, that's exactly what we like seeing from Keyano, right? The setup, right? The Killjoy Molly is giving Keyano enough time to figure out what's going on in the round, enough time to regroup, to hold their ground, or at least set up for a retake, and that's what exactly happened. I mean, Niner in the 1v2, he had a massive chance of winning that, but unfortunately, Ambot had his number with the Phantom Think, more than sealed his fate there. And it looks like we may be seeing a 5-7 in favor of SFU Flamingo on this half, but we won't know until it plays out.
Yeah, Kaho though has had an excellent half here. 16 kills for themselves. I think had a little bit more of a subdued first half in that first one where they're just sort of warming up. I literally cast a curse and he missed every single knife onto Luffy. Glow is there to answer the beck and call at the very least. So sort of bailed out by the Rays once again. The double duelist getting their ones to get in, and now Senja just lurking here on site in the smoke. Has not been cleared out yet, but Kaho's staring straight at them, knowing full well that there could be someone here. We'll find a spray onto Glow. That's not the number they were looking for. Kaho finds the return. Now the plant will come through. Viper ult available for Ambot though. Will they opt to use it? Ideally so, as Savo trying to peek this one. Has the judge. You can't take an aim fight there.
No, he had a judge. He has... his only option is kind of to go through door, hopefully find a closer angle there. But Bondo being very careful when retaking. Good kill on the Kaho. And unfortunately, Viper will not unfortunately help too much there, but Niner trading out Bondo there. And looks like the judge will finally get some value. He flat packs up and over. gets the fuse off as well. Excellent round there. It looked a little bit shaky, you know, at the midpoint there, but they managed to hold them off. Caster Curse, Keyano College 6-6. Well done.
These teams, they just seem to love their 6-6 first halves here. 2 maps in a row where it's gone dead even at the half, but you look at this scoreboard and it looks odd. Because you see how many frags are coming through from the side of SFU, and yet Keyano are still in a position to flip the map. And we talk about how attack-sided this is. We saw how strong their attack was in the first little bit of ascent. Is history just repeating itself in a way? Is this all scripted and we're all going to go to overtime every single map? Yet to be determined, of course. It may come down to this pistol, but Kaho definitely coming out of the woodwork here. 17 kills for themselves. Feeling a little bit more confident on the Jet than on that Sova. Realistically, I have no idea why he was playing Sova last map when Stu plays Sova. It just seemed to be like a little bit of a role swap situation. Might just be because Niner is playing and plays that Killjoy so well. Kaho, though, will find their one onto Bondo, looking for more, has to back out before they get returned.
We're seeing Keyano just flooding on the site, similar to how Flamingo did. Kaho forced it back off here, get the heal from the mobile ambulance, as we called Sky earlier, but the lurk caught lacking by Glow. And Kaho as well, getting some kills. Stu for 1, traded out by Senja. It's a 1v3 now.
Whoa.
Kaho closing in, Senja's good for 1, range flash, but gets his life ended there by Glow. Very scrappy indeed.
Yeah, quite scrappy, but it works out nonetheless. SFU find another pistol round win, and now it's about holding that pistol round win for themselves and making sure that they don't give over another Thrifty. Especially here in the second half, you want to prevent Keyano from getting any sort of momentum in their favor. That's my major concern here, because we've already seen them get punished by this. Granted, Luffy is investing a little bit more than usual here, down to 900 credits here. It means that if they do fall this round, they will barely have enough to afford a rifle plus light shields with absolutely no util, so looking to at least find one for themselves. Juka, this is aggressive coming through from Juka as Ambot's trying to hold a short angle. Ambot gonna miss that first shot, lands the second one though, and Juka punished once again for the aggression.
The gap in the smoke really made all the difference there. It gave him that, you know, another headshot there from Ambot. Hold on, he's kind of on the streak here. Unfortunately, the caster curse might come into fruition once again. Flamingo losing their grip here on the round. Unfortunate.
That's the Vandal that was in Glow's hand that is, of course, handed it back over on a silver platter. Ambot finds a third headshot of the round. Finally, Niner will prevent Ambot from just wiping the floor with them. Kaho with this Marshall, though, finds one. And now both of these members are stuck in tree. They don't really have much more util to use. Kaho, though, getting a little bit too antsy with this. Picks up the Vandal. Will you find the spray down? No, Bondo trades it out. And it is all down to Niner. Both of these members, though, sequestered into tree. That sound cue will be given over. Will they opt to rotate out? It might have just been to tip Niner off of a rotation.
Yeah,
and now they're just going to go back to A.
Niner does have all the tools he needs to win this round. It's just he needs to make the correct decision, and right now his decision is that they're hitting. Oh wait, I believe he's going back around, hopefully making a hit through that tree door. That would be quite detrimental there for Keyano. I mean, we see Senja super low, 20 HP. The Bulldog in play. He might as well just get a spray down right when he gets the chance to. Kind of playing it safe here. He's kind of feeling it out, but the turret going down, letting, you know, our attackers know who's on site. It's Niner, of course. And we might see a wide swing here. But, Bondo just catching him out with the Vandal, recovered from Niner's teammates. And yes, their hubris will come back to haunt them again. SFU Flamingo not able to get a second round. It's very interesting.
It goes against basic Valorant principles in a lot of ways when this happens, where you're meant to win on your bonus. That's sort of the point of it. You're supposed to find that anti-eco to just continue to snowball your lead as much as possible. You buy the best guns available, but when you're pushing forward aggressively like Juka did, or you just aren't able to find the spray downs that you're looking for, you can get punished in that regard. And now Juka sitting with a shorty. I think he's going for like a gun game or something with Frenzy last round, shorty this round, just gonna try and find what they can. Kaho firing some pot shots down, nothing gonna land. Ambot, though, shutting down Glow again, and this seems to be a trend where Ambot on this Viper is able to somehow find some of these first picks, now just handing over better guns over to the rest of the squad. Juka, though, sitting here with the shorty. You gotta be so careful. Finds a decent chunk of damage onto Luffy as well as Savo. That might be enough to turn the tides.
Yeah, that was really good damage here with the shorty. Hopefully, SFU Flamingo looking to get as much value as they can out of their little eco weapons. But Ambot on patrol. Luffy headshot on the Niner, excellent. And starting to tip its way towards Keyano for this round, unfortunately. Kaho, though, getting the Marshall, fancy new skin. Looking for this jumping shot. Oh, and gets a little bit on Luffy there. Luffy 1 HP, roughly. Almost through the smoke. Okay.
Oh.
That mechanic's not quite giving him what he wants there. And Keyano will run away with the third round. Let's see how far they could stretch this lead. And the Eco is now a little bit more even.
Yeah, I mean, look at Bondo's credits, though. Bondo is he's feeling good about things. Juka has the off this time around, so might just be holding down some of these longer angles. But SFU Flamingo start to lose the grip once again around that half. You can see they start off this map very well. They start off going, 4-2 up, and then Keyano starts to claw back a little bit. And it seems to be a trend from these Huskies that they're not willing to give up on those anti-eco rounds. They're willing to punish the bonus as much as possible. Juka has created a nice little window for themselves, though. Will find that shot. Might look to refrag. Bondo is going to be the one to shut it down. And it's a two-way smoke. That's not a one-way. That's a two-way.
That's a two-way. Yeah, it was unfortunate there for Juka. At least he got one there. But Kaho pushing up there with a main. Trying to T-spawn space. Backing off now, though. Keyano a little bit on guard as they move into B main here. But Bondo wanting to explore a little bit, will find Kaho sitting on a rock, backing off now. This looks like Keyano is about to regroup. See where they go here with that spike. Over to B side. And we see that Flamingo is not really holding B side actively, but the rotate will come through here. It looks like the read is being made that they will hit B. The smoke all but confirms it. And now we're seeing the dog come through here. Maybe a little scrap fight. One thing, straight through the smoke.
Niner there to answer it. Good scouting done by Stu. Good answer from Niner. And now Glow lurking over towards the site once again. May be the point of action. That flash doesn't quite land, but they're not sure where Glow is. Throws the satchels down. Glow's able to find one. Luffy now stuck in a 1v3. The cabbages are going to be chopped up. It is simply not going to be enough for the round. SFU Flamingo securing another one for themselves. Tied at 8s.
Yeah, that was really well done from SFU Flamingo, right? It's just he's trying to instill more chaos into these fights, into these interactions. They try to go for picks, they kind of poke and prod at Keyano, and hopefully they give through. And that round they did indeed. Kept getting straight through smoke, getting found out on picks. It's just Keyano needs to find their tempo once again.
I think major thing about SFU Flamingo as well, they're able to save the op from that round. Kaho has the knives to potentially find another one. Juka may just very well go for a similar play. This time around, the Trailblazer are going to force him off of that angle incredibly quickly. They know exactly what Juka's cooking up. That's not quite going to be the angle he's looking for. Fires an op shot, immediately heads for the hills. Doesn't want anything to do with this. But very quickly on the site is Bondo with that ultimate. We can't see anything. Oh my goodness. There's so many smokes on site. They don't know what's going on. But it seems to be
on A
plant on C.
Yeah. Oh. Kaho with the knives. Juka op shot going off. And Senja though trading back out Niner. Going back and forth here. Keyano and Flamingo. And Stu will find a headshot on the Senja. 1v3 here now for Bondo. They have to try to make it work. But round 4.
Glow gonna shut that one down. Picks up the op once again. And SFU Flamingo starting to get back in control of this map. Yes, there's still enough for another buy on the side of Keyano, but now their strategies are starting to get exposed a little bit more. And you wonder if the C push is all that it may be. The last couple of rounds, they have used a couple of ultimates from the Shadows and the Seekers. The Omen ultimate, not the biggest deal, but those Seekers that were used in the 1v3 might have been a little bit too aggressive coming through from Luffy. But of course, you look at that opposite side, 4 ults available for SFU Flamingo. A couple to come on the side of Keyano as well in the next couple of rounds, but this could very well be a pivotal round because you look at the economy on Keyano. If they are to fall in this one, it's very likely they're giving over 11 as well, thus putting them with 2 points to give. Kaho, though, peeking through mid, just spamming it down, trying to find any sort of shots as Glow has pushed so far up onto A. Multiple angles covered, will be cleared out by the Trailblazer at the very least, and now is forced to back all the way off as all this util being used to clear them out. Showstopper, though, going to be expended. Glow, where are you? Are you going to find it? It Rosa's, but Kaho able to find Savo. Bondo trades it out. Oh! Kaho.
Good triple from Kaho there. I mean, we're seeing Flamingo just playing super forward. This is the style that they want on their defense. And looking for the ace, he does not get it off the jump peak. Senja will take him down 1v3 once again for the side of Keyano. And just super early fights from Flamingo is making the difference now. Kaho is just finding those picks. I mean, when Keyano wants to fight back, Flamingo just puts him down harder.
I think they may opt to chase this kill down as well. Senja has to go all the way through tree to find it. Juka peeking it. And now that's double digits on the board for Flamingo. That economy is in rough shape. And Lunr, in these situations, as the timeout comes down, we get a little bit more time to talk about it. Keyano need to find some sort of magic sauce, I want to say, for what Kaho has been cooking up. Because Kaho here, 26 and 11. The girlfriend buff is real in a lot of ways. He's just popping off on this map thus far. He's had a fantastic time.
Right. And like, this is what's going on the side of Flamingo, right? So we have Kaho taking the like initial peaks, initial like gunfights, and then normally when that type of thing happens in the game, you want to immediately dip back to the other site, opposite to where Kaho is making presence. But the issue is that Juka has an op. He's Omen. He has an op. He's waiting over at C site. Kaho's at A, and the op is at C. So there's really nowhere for Keyano to go. They need to break through using utility over at B. The issue with that, though, is that, of course, there's more presence at B in manpower. So Keyano, they just really need to find something. They need to poke and prod at SFU Flamingo, try to find where that weak point is, and it might be where Juka, they need to util him off. Well, however, we're seeing sort of a default setup kind of going on here on the side of Keyano. And Juka's just kind of waiting for it. Kind of a trap play here with Kaho this time. Interesting to see how this may play out.
Yeah, of course, off the back of that timeout, we have to see something different come through from Keyano. They've had very good efficiency on their timeouts. You know, every time they take a timeout, they win the next 2 rounds, which shows that they have the tools necessary to find it. But Kaho just gonna be able to find one, almost able to find a second one. Juka gonna be there to back it up. Ambot is able to answer. Juka finds a second for themselves, and all of a sudden the timeout buff may be going by the wayside. Ambot gonna try and shut it down, but the dog is there. Through the door though, Sendra's able to refrag, but Ambot has absolutely no HP to work with here. You're in an uphill battle against better guns. Glow can see them from their own spawn. Are you going to be able to find the shots? Glow might be overheating just a little bit here. Is able to find one, finds the second one. Never mind. Glow is at the right temperature. 11 on the board for the side of SFU Flamingo as they try and sweep this map away after a very back and forth first 2/3 of this map.
Right. And like, again, we see the showcase. Keyano keeps trying to fight Kaho, and they're not winning that fight. They need to kind of shift their efforts elsewhere. It's just they need to stop fighting Kaho pretty much, because he keeps getting these multi-kills, these doubles, these triples, even quads. It's just not working out for Keyano's favor. Now we're seeing, again, more spread out this time. Ambot's kind of getting himself into trouble a little bit. Kaho about to turn the corner. And a gunfight here going off. Kaho kind of doubling down here, actually. Whips his smokes. This duel here will make a difference. Kaho down, Ambot securing the first blood there.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big first blood to pick up for this side of Keyano. They needed to find Kaho, get him back in check a little bit, because he's been hot the last little bit. Now, what transpires afterwards is the main question. It is only Juka on C right now, and everyone is slowly crawling forward. Juka has to find one and get out.
Juka with the op. Unfortunately, you can't really make do with it when there's something like a KGL active, especially when you get flashed like that. I don't think that corner is safe, Juka. Oh, just kidding.
Barely safe, but it's not safe because they push him. Nine are going to throw down their own lockdown now. Plant will still be completed by the side of Keyano. They're looking to rush it down. It's going to be the lockdown destroy, but Niner trades it back with 2. Glow able to trade Niner out afterwards as Senja rounds the corner. And now in a 2v2, Bondo going to drop down from the shadows. Stu hears it though. Stu is so aware of this positioning. And will Bondo clear the corner? Bondo needs to be so careful. Stu gonna find it. And now it all comes down to Ambot, who's been playing off-site. Glow should be able to get to the half at the very least. The head taps are coming through, but it's not enough. The blind will complete the round. And SFU Flamingo hold serve. They are on to map point here, looking to break Keyano.
That was really well done from Flamingo there. They noticed kind of a switch up in Keyano's strategy. They were more spread out, and Flamingo recognized that, and they adapted Juka. You know, he tried to hold his best on C, even though he went down fairly easily. Flamingo punished every time Keyano tries to aggress. Flamingo punishes it. We saw it there when Keyano tried to go for the KGO using the Razor, and it just didn't work out. Now this is the last stand for Keyano again.
And it seems as if they're going towards A. It's a strategy they haven't really executed to perfection thus far. Granted, a lot of the times it was Kaho on that angle. This time around, though, Kaho is from behind. Senja will not get a chance to make it happen. Glow peeking through broken door as well. Stu finds another one. Stu almost lines up a third. And now it is all down to Savo. 86 HP in a dream. Doesn't even have the spike. This is such a rough situation as the Huskies on their last lifeline here. Niner just gonna do a nice little swing, and Keyano lose their map pick here. SFU Flamingo on tournament point.
That was just complete textbook excellence from Flamingo. After, it was a little shaky at the start, right? But then they found their footing much sooner than they did on Ascent, and it paid off beautifully. Seeing Kaho 28 and 13, holy,
not bad.
Star performance from him as expected. And we're starting to see like sort of the differences in these teams. I mean, just like, the inexperience of Keyano is kind of letting them down right now. They're failing to adapt, but they have the tools. They just need to sort of kind of lock in like Flamingo did earlier.
Yeah, lock it down just a little bit more. It feels as if they're starting to get a little bit too ballsy, I want to say, with some of their plays. It feels as if Keyano are just forcing the agenda a little bit too much. And I think that might end up coming back to haunt them, because it is so hard to contend against a team like SFU Flamingo when they're playing at their peak level. And Kaho seems to have woken up from a little bit of that slump in the first map there, the first half, where he didn't really get off the ground, started to pick it up in that second half there, and of course has a standout performance, plus 15 on Lotus. But now we will be looking towards this third map, what could be the final map. Will be Pearl next up on the schedule here. Of course, we are going to take a quick break while we get ready for our third map. When we're back, we'll see if SFU Flamingo can wrap it all up here. Warm welcome back, everyone, to our Canadian Intercollegiate Expo Grand Finals of the Valorant tournament here. SFU Flamingo have taken a dominant 2-0 lead over Keyano Huskies, and now we await to see if this could be our final map. Once again, Rare, Adam, and Lunr on the mics for you today. And thus far, SFU, it just seems as if they took a little while to wake up here. They've sort of gotten back into the swing of things here, and now shifting over to Pearl, this is a map that they are very, very good at.
Yep, this is true. I believe this is SFU's map pick, most likely, and they picked this map because they've definitely stratted this out to the teeth, and also played this map multiple times. You know, well-experienced team, right? Compared to the Huskies, very, very new roster, and we may see that difference sort of shine through here in this map for you. Very decisive.
That's sort of the hope, I guess, for SFU Flamingo fans. Of course, on the flip side, for Keyano, they really just need to get themselves back into the right headspace. They need to play around those key picks that they're able to get in a lot of these rounds. And, you know, they might just have to take advantage of the fact that SFU Flamingo have been absolutely awful on their bonus rounds. They have been so bad on round. They will win pistol and they will immediately just get thriftied. It's ridiculous how often it's happened. It's literally happened both times in the last map.
I don't know how that happens. Honestly, like they win pistol. I'm like, oh yeah, they're doing like super good, and then we watch Keyano just like actually smack them with like the most dog weapons, and it's really interesting. So hopefully Keyano can bring that energy back and make this map kind of close.
Yeah, of course, going on to Pearl, it will be SFU Flamingo on the attack to start out once again. This is another map where comps do make a big difference. If you go for something like the Viper Harbor that we've seen so often pop up and which seems to be locked in by the side of Keyano, your attack is going to be quite lethal. Your defense is still going to be quite strong. It just comes down to how you're able to supplant that with your frags as well. And thus far, the major factor behind all of that has just been shutting down Kaho at every single situation because he's been on fire the last map and a half.
Exactly. They need to set up these traps. They need to set up these plays and sort of like isolate, you know, the star players, the difference makers, and just remove them from the situation altogether. That's what Keyano needs to do. And similarly on the other side, SFU Flamingo cannot get sloppy like they did on Ascent. They cannot, you know, kind of sit on their laurels a bit. You know what I mean?
And once again, we see the differences in the comps come through. Stu pulling out the Astra as opposed to the Omen on the, or not the Omen at all, the Viper Harbor on the opposite side. There will still be a Harbor picked up by Juka here, but Glow opting for the Ego pick in the Reyna. This one should get quite interesting considering there is no initiator on this side of SFU Flamingo. They have gone double smokes, double duelist, and niner.
I mean, yeah, I can really explain. So Pearl is one of those maps where you don't really use initiator util like traditionally. Most of the time it's like your entry duelist is the one face checking these corners, face checking these angles, just completely hard clearing consistently. And so they've really opted to just scrap the initiator altogether.
Yeah, and it's an interesting take on this. SFU sort of opting for a slightly different comp than potentially what we're used to in a lot of ways with the double duelist, but Reyna has found value on this map. I spoke with Orbital last time around how Converse loves to pull out that Reyna a lot on Pearl as well, but immediately you can see the action brewing here. Already, Ambot trying to hold down the line on B long, but it's just a little bit of a bait. There's two members over here with the spike, but look at the rest of the map that they're exploring as well.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of space taken here by SFU Flamingo, just passively, not even having to spend util to get it. And Salvo getting an early pick on the Juka. That's the smokes player. That is a major pick, high impact.
And good damage as well done to Glow. on that Reyna. Nine are going to find Bondo. Luffy going to trade out onto Kaho. And Glow with 18 HP, not going to be in the best of situations, but look at how much space they've cleared out. Nine are all the way in CT spawn here. They're starting to play the map a little bit backwards. Niner has not been cleared out yet. Might find the angle of a sentry here. Will not be able to find it. Luffy clears it out. Glow will get the plant down at the very least, but this is going to be a very difficult hold for them. Stu missing a couple of shots on the Ambot. Ambot's trying to run away from this one. Will be able to escape. Glow finds one at the very least. Stu will end up getting traded out at the end as Keyano strike first.
That was a really well done round by Keyano. And we're seeing Flamingo, they try to lurk out, take space passively. And Keyano just punished them completely for attempting to even think about doing it. The lurks got caught out, picks were made, even on B side, the fake. And it just did not go in Flamingo's favor at all.
Yeah, and you can't throw your pistol bonus if you don't have one for the side of SFU Flamingo. True. So maybe they'll flip the script and do it the opposite way. Granted, Niner thinking about that share for a little bit. It's going to be Juka forcing up with that Marshall instead. Lots of shares actually going to come through for the side of SFE Flamingo, so not quite going to be as easy of a bonus as expected, and especially on these long angles, especially with Juka throwing down that wall. It's going to be looking for any peaks that they can. Glow going to get caught out by that alarm bot, but turns it back around onto Senja, who is removed from play. Ambot, though, looking to trade it out. Won't quite find the timing, but they got to be careful about this one. Ambot is going to be peeking into multiple members. Deals a little bit of damage, forced to back out.
Yeah, and we see, Glow almost got caught out, like we said, but luckily his mechanics kind of backed him up there. Got a nice little pick on the Keyano Salvo on the Juga. Glow with the trade on the Ambot. He's having an excellent round, I'd say. He's about to do another duel, but the Stinger close range is too overwhelming. Understandable. Flamingo now making their way towards A, and the rotate's coming through as well.
Yeah, and this 3v3 situation as well, so numbers are evened up.
Kind of seeing some first contact here from Niner as the bomb goes down, choosing to back off. Kyle with 9 HP, he's gonna have to play super safe. But yeah, gets caught up by the spray there. And Bondo using the cove to take space really well. I believe I can defuse from in there. It's super well done. And Niner's gonna have to do something, not quite getting anything. Stu, no dice.
And Savo has 4 on the round as Keyano going to continue to push the advantages where they can, continuing to march forward here on this map and trying to counteract what has come through from the side of SFE Flamingo. Granted, now on a full buy around for the side of SFE Flamingo, might see something a little bit different. Juka really going to be the only one missing out on all the fun with the Bulldog instead. But everyone's staring at the ground right now with those Vandals, 4 of them in the inventory, looking to take these long-range fights.
Yeah, I mean, if Keyano makes something work this round, we may see a snowball happen here. We've clearly seen them capable of doing so, but again, Flamingo on the full buy, highly dangerous, massive threat here, especially the B side. We're seeing a fast execute coming in through here, using the harbor util, using the after punch. But Salvo gets one and dips out, going down the Glow here. Bondo kind of meeting up with his teammates, who getting ready for that retake. Flamingo, though, scrappy as ever, watching these angles like a hawk. Glow just ready to swing out at a moment's notice.
Yeah. Especially with Glow in the Empress form. Wants to try and find as many kills as possible. Gonna be dashing forward onto Senja, but it's just all the trades. Back and forth they go. Luffy has a classic for this long-range fight. Able to find one on a Juka somehow, some way. Might have just walked accidentally into the crosshair there, but just sort of forced to spray out whatever they can. It is just gonna be that, unless the Stinger is able to find some massive value from Luffy. Niner trying to peek around the side here. Spike expiring in time. Everyone should be able to evacuate as Luffy will end up falling to the spike in valiant fashion. It is a round on the board for SFE Flamingo.
Yeah, I mean, SFE Flamingo did win that round, but not at, it wasn't for free. They lost quite a lot of money and weapons that round. And they can recover it if they win round 4 here, but unfortunately, Savo bringing out that op. difference maker here. It seems that he may try to like take space here at A, but SFU Flamingo kind of looking towards maybe a split or a fall here, it seems. Or maybe they just ran into Salvo here and catch a bullet. We will see. Early flash coming through here.
Good Reina flash as well to counteract what Salvo was cooking up. You hear that op shot, you immediately push forward, and now no space for Salvo to operate with. Forced to pop those knives going up over the top. Hasn't caught a glimpse of anyone yet. Rondo is going to be able to find one, finds two through the smoke as Kaho able to find Salvo. Now a 4v3, they immediately rotate out, but look at where Niner has placed themselves. Niner, ooh, almost takes advantage of that jump peek from Luffy, but Luffy will be wary of it. Now, though, Niner continuing to buy space for themselves. Ambot spotted out as well as Niner continues to move forward onto B. Senja's ready for it, but Niner is just way too good at that shot.
Juka will get the plant down. And Niner playing super aggressive, trying to find these picks. He gets one on the bomb, though. And now we're going to see some Harbor Util come out through with the Reckoning. Luffy forced to shift around the heaven, forced to come out. Luckily, though, the wall gives him a little bit of cover, though. And Niner Juka still low health. Still playing aggressive, even though trying to do everything they can to hold down. Juka will go down. Niner with a massive trade, though. We're seeing a 1v2 here now for Ambot. Highly possible, but he's running very low. Gets a kill on the Niner, and Stu will confirm this using the suck to his advantage, but yeah, Ambot trying to find just anything, even a small headshot, but not quite. This round will go to Flamingo, and they will keep evening up the score. The op will be...
Yeah, I'm going to recover that op at the very least. Stu just using that star to stall time, and that's all that was necessary in that round. Nonetheless, another round on the board for the side of SFU Flamingo forces a very interesting loadout from the side of Keyano, where it is an operator and a whole bunch of nothing outside of that.
Yeah, we're seeing light armor, sheriffs, kind of, you know, a little bit light on the side of shooting, but Flamingo cooking up some other devious ideas, I'm sure. Early mid presence, Senja forced to kind of hold back the storm here with only a turn in the sheriff. Should they even go there? Looks like Flamingo are choosing to instead go art. Well done decision there. Looks like Guy and Harbor forced to hold on and get caught, but not finding any knives. Unfortunately, Bondo, good shots on the Kaho, securing an early pick there. Skyle coming out too, finding the location as the KDO will most likely go down here should any downtime come. But Senja found out by the turret. Having to make a move real soon.
Gotta make something happen. Luffy did pick up the judge that was cooking in the inventory of Kaho. Not gonna be the best at long-range fights. Juka, though, coming out from behind. Glow and Juka find a couple to even up that scoring. But now, the guns that were dropped aren't gonna be in the best of positions for the side of Keyano to pick up. You might be able to recover one, but once again, it's that operator. There's going to be a judge and a vandal at the very least. So Ambot really going to be holding the onus to try and save this round as much as possible. Cascade comes through. Ambot working up slowly. Senja finds Glow at the very least. And now you just got to be ready for this peak. Ambot almost caught Juka with the util out.
And we're seeing a sort of strong retake here. We're using the Viper Malik to dissuade Juka from peeking this. But still need to be just vigilant, trying to at least get half here. Salvo with the off-shot. Juka for 2! Securing that round for Flamingo. Excellent work there. It was a little bit dicey, but he managed to pull through.
Yeah, Juka makes it happen against all odds there. He's had a rather subdued series thus far, but you cannot forget that Juka has the aim to make it happen, has that clutch factor when necessary, and comes through in spades nonetheless. Another round on the board for SFU Flamingo as they look to start to cook a little bit more here. And this would be a round where if they are able to pick it up in their favor, they'll be starting to get that snowball going for themselves on the score sheet. Granted, the econ is still relatively even between the two teams thus far. Ambot pairing up here to try and make it happen, but the Astral Divide will be invested. Glow pushing forward. Savo has a nice little angle there. Will find one and dashes out to safety, but Luffy around this corner will not be able to find another one. Ambot finds one in return. Niner trades it out. Luffy in a really precarious situation. Niner able to find another one. Now a 3v2. The wall is dropping. Senja gets timing there just a little bit. Now Stu cooking on the backside here. Senja doesn't have a whole lot of health to work with. It's just going to be a shot in the foot for Stu as SFU Flamingo find another one in their favor.
That was an interesting round because mostly what we needed to see from Keyano, we saw it happen. They got 2 picks just off the trap at B side alone. It's just that unfortunately they fell short when it came to taking the more scrappier gunfights, like we've said the entire series. Unfortunately, Flamingo brute forced their way on the B side and just broke open Keyano, and that's how they lost the round. And now we're seeing them on the back foot again with the sheriffs. Light armor, Savo with a judge. Gonna have to, kind of scrape together something here.
I have to try and find something. Juka's just sort of staring at the ground right now. We'll back off for the time being.
Seeing the entry here come through. KJO just wanted to secure the round, even though they're on an eco. Gotta make sure, I guess. And we're seeing Flamingo taking these long gunfights. Luffy, 4 HP. KJO will go off and one detained. Kaho taking down Bondo. Free sight for Flamingo pretty much. Even though the Viper mod is gonna come through here, the plan will as well. And Kaho, danger close with the judge, will get concussed. But any one of those pellets touching, or even just sniffing Luffy will result in a death. But caught out by Ambot though, interesting. 4v3 here now. Niner 3v3 evening it up. Senja.
Oh, Niner.
Oh, Niner for 3! And Savo getting the trade at last. I mean, he only has a judge against an Aster and a Harbor. It's looking kinda rough here. Pachuca low. Will fall down to the judge. And Savo taking anything he can. Stu not giving him any. He knows his win condition. It's the star on the bomb, and he will not even need to proc it. Savo will go for save.
Savo just gonna... Oh!
Okay,
Savo is not gonna save that round, unfortunately. Got stuck in connector. Stu, once again, just being the anchor, holding everything down, preventing anything from transpiring, any shenanigans at the end there. Savo, though, finding a couple more frags for themselves, has the knives in tow, will opt to potentially save them for a round. But once again, now 5 in a row for the side of SFU Flamingo as they continue to roll. Their econ is still in such a precarious situation, though, where they haven't really been able to snowball them, because despite Niner getting 3 that round, despite multiple rounds in a row going in favor of SFU Flamingo, they've all been quite costly at the fact that 3 or 4 members are dying every single time. Glow, though, barely gets through that little peak there. Glow now even gonna push forward once again. 2 picked up by the Reyna to open this one out. Ambot trying to push forward here aggressively, unsure of where Niner is. Niner staring right at Ambot's head there. And a 4v2 now for SFU Flamingo as they look to continue the roll going here. As you mentioned off the rip, this is a team that is so well versed on Pearl. Yeah, and we're just seeing, the experience come through. Flamingo just completely brute forcing their way onto sites. I mean, as soon as Keyano puts up any resistance, they're just blown back by Glow, especially on this round. And if I were Keyano, if this round doesn't go their way, I might want to call a timeout. However, the round's not over yet though, but this pinch cross setup here, Juka catching one, almost another there on the Senja, force a 1v2 here, and Niner rounded off. If I were Bondo, might want to click that timeout button real quick. Back down on the back foot, back down on the economy. But maybe they play it out. I might play this round out, potentially taking the timeout next round if things go amiss. Once again, Knives going to be available for Salvo this time around. It is going to be most of a full buy here. It's a Guardian plus 3 Vandals, just a whole bunch of light shields on the opposite side here for Keyano. They just need to wrest some sort of control back in their favor, as it just seems as if they've sort of lost touch with this map specifically. They got their first couple of rounds there. They got the pistol plus the bonus. But since then, they have been absolutely stifled by the strategies of SFU Flamingo, almost as expected, knowing this team and how well-versed they are on this map. Kaho going up over the top, dodging around Savo's knives. There is absolutely no value that is found from the Jet Ultimate.
Yeah, the KGO will dissuade Flamingo from having the planter, force the back out. Kaho caught it straight in the middle, and Glow as well. We'll be given a little stare down before finishing him off, and Kaho out in the open. Might be able to get his gun back, and the jump in time to get Savo. That is super unfortunate for him. And just clearing house now. SFU Flamingo doubling down on the B-side hit. A flank though will come through here from the Keyano's Viper. Ambot, even though the spike is down, he might be able to catch one or two here. And Bondo having to kind of put up a bit of a wall against, you know, Kaho's prodding here. And the Viper Molly almost on the Juka, not quite. And the smoke making it super difficult. Bondo will catch Kaho too though with the trade. Bondo 17 HP, forced to make a play. Juka 58 health. And Bondo will catch Juka. One-on-one situation. The wall cut will come through here. A little bit dicey. The Cove as well. And no stars to help go against the fuse here. But Stu straight through and the right click. A little sneaky from Stu there. 7th round for SFU Flamingo. Well done.
Yeah, a little bit of a chaotic round there as well. I mean, all the knives missing from Savo was not ideal. I don't think that was what was planned out. But now Bondo going to call that timeout that we were calling for at least last round. They're going to opt to use it this time around with nothing much left in the tank. 7 rounds in a row rattled off by the side of SFU Flamingo as they continue to find wins when it matters. Glow has had an excellent performance. Stu has been clutching a lot of these rounds by just staying alive and being a pest with that Astra. And I do wonder what Keyano can do at this point to sort of find a way back into this map, because they've got a little bit of a save round going for themselves here. I see some Sheriff, some Light Shields, mostly just going to be looking for their eco frags. Past that, it's going to be a challenge because Niner has really showed up on this one. Lockdown 1 point away. Everyone has contributed on the side, and while Kaho has taken a little bit of a step back here, it doesn't matter because SFU Flamingo, all 5 of these members can show up at a moment's notice, and it feels as if that has been exactly the case thus far.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of their strange star power, right? We talked about pre-match. It's just everyone's a hitter, right? You get one down, there's 4 others waiting for the trade. And Keyano's just gonna have to try to work around it. They're on the force again. Or, sorry, an eco round rather. We're seeing a Phantom from Savo. Gonna have to see if that timeout makes a difference. So far, they're falling short here on Pearl. Gonna have to cook something up very deviously. Oh, early entry with the knives. Right click on Senja.
There's one way to find her entry there. You can't rat a corner if you're dead. And Kaho just goes right forward, right click, probably 250 damage to the body there. Just removes Senja from play. Now Bondo trying to lurk up here. Glow holding these short angles. Has the judge as well, sort of pulling a card out from their playbook. Niner gonna find one on a nice little peek. Glow finds another one onto Bondo. Savo, not in the best of situations for this one, is able to pick one up onto Niner at the very least. But Juka's just spraying and praying through the smoke. Does a little bit of damage there. But now look at where all of these other members are. It is so challenging to push this forward. Savo is just going to walk right past without checking it. Stu.
That's unfortunate for the side of Keyano.
Oh. That's just a tilter. You got to check that corner.
Yeah, I mean, that's an eco, so it was expected to be a loss, but still devastating for Keyano. It just seems that Flamingo has their number, really.
Feels as if they had their number for the last 8 rounds for sure, but even for the second half of Lotus, it felt like after they got punished for their hubris, as you mentioned, they've just been able to rattle off several rounds in a row. I believe at this point, got themselves about, I want to say 12 rounds on 12 out of the last 14 rounds going in their favor. And if that trend continues, it is not going to be looking good for the side of Keyano. While they have put forward valiant efforts, it still has been a challenge. Savo and Bondo, though, going to link up for a couple. Make that a trio of kills. Make that a quartet of kills early on. And Stu, really the only one left alive. 1 HP on Stu. Gonna find a a second, and at least getting a couple of eco frags here for themselves. Stu, not sure what you can do now. Pulls the star back. There is a firing squad awaiting as Bondo finds 3.
Yeah, finally Keyano back on the board. We see those trap plays that I really wanted them to do. They finally succeeded in executing them. We saw them isolating glows, you know, getting another 2 in art just based off that pick alone. That is what they needed to do. You know, they should have already done it, but at least they got another. Maybe a 9-3 for this half. We seen the Odin come out, maybe? Nah, yeah, playing tricks on us. Unless...
Yeah, it's just gonna be an... You know what? Kaho's like, I've had enough. I don't want to aim anymore. I just want to fire gun, go pew pew, and that might be the play. Kaho entering with the Odin as well. A little bit of an odd play, but we'll see that Astra ultimate placed down. The lockdown invested as well. They want to get on site. They want to make it count. Lots of damage from these mollies on the way in at the very least. Niner taking a significant amount of damage, will get the plant down, and it is full retake mode for the side of Keyano College. The Huskies just trying to find any way back into this one, but it won't be easy. Reckoning will be invested. Glow able to find one quick little dismiss. Gonna find a second kill. A Niner links up for a third despite the Reckoning. Bondo will find one in return. But now here comes the Odin. The helicopter gun not gonna work out in their favor. Now a 2v2. Make that a 2v1. Bondo, last one left alive. Has to try and make something happen with 68 HP. Flicks onto Glow at the very least. But once again, it is Crown as the anchor. Through the cove, the shots go. Might not actually land them. Bondo sticking it. You gotta be careful here. Not a whole lot of time. Stu readjusts. That's a 9-3 half for SFU Flamingo.
Yeah, that half was just completely decided by SFU Flamingo. They just ran the house straight through Keyano. I mean, 9-3, that's not an insignificant score, right? So looks like Keyano's gonna have to step it up on the attack. Or, yeah, it's just too dominating SFU Flamingo and just toying with their food at this point.
Seems to be a little bit of an uphill road, at least for the side of Keyano at this point. They might have to find some sort of crazy run on the attacking half here. Granted, if you believe in curses, you might be favoring Keyano at this point. Not sure how superstitious the side of SFU Flamingo are going to let them be. Specifically, if it is pistol into a successful bonus from the side of SFU, things are really rough because then it's double digits. It's 11 on the board to 3. That makes it so much more difficult to deal with. Kaho, though, not able to land a single shot there. Glow even going to be taken down by Luffy, and now the push on to this B site comes through. This Viper Harbor combo is so devastating to deal with on this B site.
Yeah, we're just seeing straight shots come through, but Ambot just charging on through, getting on one on the call. Niner not even expecting it, can't even turn around in time, and he's still going. Get some chip on the Duca, traded out by Senja. Well done. It looks like Flamingo will likely not get this round. Stu, last one remaining, 1v4. Unlikely. The util's up, the spike's down. What more can you do here? If I were them, I'd start thinking about next round. So, good headshot there on the Stu. Keyano will get the pistol. Need to get the eco after that.
They'll be in good shape. At the very least, we'll see how much they force up as well. Seems as if they're sort of going all in for this time. Luffy gonna sit on that sheriff. Seems as if Sava will do the same potentially. Nope, that's gonna be the Spectre picked up. A little bit of a force back the opposite way. Glow and Kaho both sitting on those marshals. Juka full shield shorty is another loadout of all time. We saw the full shields frenzy come through last time. And if we want to talk about nerfs, the frenzy was nerfed. The shorty was gutted.
Gutted. That is absolutely a good way to put it. But still, we've been seeing, you know, Juka finding at least a little bit of value with the shorty, especially on maps like Lotus. Let's see if he can get creative with his, you know, getting close enough to use it. But it seems that Keyano looking to push their way towards A. Maybe we'll see some use here. Just jiggling, looking for the info. And it seems that they've been found out. The harbor wall will come through here. Interesting wall, splitting down the middle. allowing, you know, Juke to kind of get wherever he wants, really, but he chooses to be backside there with the shorty. Salvo very careful, being very aware here. And Keyano just completely shifting gears and going B.
Yeah, at least a couple of members going B. Juka still lurked here. And while there are 3 members over towards this B side, the action still seems to be at A. Just buying space. Savo is just going to be a pest here alongside Luffy before they end up planting on that B site. And so much time afforded by them. So much so that now this force up of these marshals is looking worse and worse by the second. Because you kind of just want to die this round anyways to get those extra credits. If you're sitting on a marshal next round, you're not going to be feeling good about yourself. Glow, though, there's one for yourself. Nice little lineup.
And yeah, you're just seeing Juka going.
Juka?
He gets it halfway.
Juka?
Molly's down, but it's not enough.
Juka?
Juka will get the ninja defuse 50 on the side of Flamingo. Hello? What was Keyano up to during that? No sprays coming through the smoke? Just let Flamingo run away with that? And he had a shorted the entire time. It's not like he had, you know, was fighting back with any rifles or anything. Although Glow did get the awesome pick with the Marshall. Still, Juka, Ninja Defuse. 10th round for Flamingo's favor. Keyano has to be feeling that round loss. Devastating.
Juka just sat there and defused the sword. No one checked. No one bothered to look, and that ends up being a big difference maker because now the economy isn't in the best of shapes for Keyano. They are able to save a decent amount of their guns. You know, they're able to buy back up one, but it's Spectres. I believe there's a Bulldog on their side. Savo pushing aggressively into Niner. Niner is so aware and so prepared with the Phantom there, dealing a decent amount of damage. Glow finds Ambot as well. And now Stu lurking up here will find the spray down. That spike is so deep in enemy territory. And Senja's going to have to find some crazy one-taps here. Will not be able to find it. 11 on the board for SFU Flamingo as they inch closer to another championship in their belt here. 11-4, 2 more rounds for them to secure up the CIE chip.
Yeah, Keyano was just force up here and just hopefully make do with what they have. They've got to be feeling low. They need a timeout should they lose again. This next half, it is allotted to them. But Flamingo's looking strong as ever right now, especially off that, you know, kind of highway robbery of round 2 there of the half. We need to see how this plays out. And it looks like Glow really forward here, trying to get 1 or 2 here with the Phantom. Flash coming out here. God, not quite, but send it through the smoke. Will catch him lacking. Fortunately, Niner waiting.
Yeah, and Ambot is just so aware of where Kaho is going to be pushed so far up. They're going to punish this as well. Juka as well, pushing straight through. Ends up being taken down, and now it is down to Niner and Stu, sorry. So used to seeing Crown playing the Astra that I just instinctively am like, yeah, SFU Astra, that's Crown playing that, but it is Stu this time around. Stu cleared all of A, and Niner probably hears all of these footsteps. Scary stuff coming through for the substitute Killjoy here. Bubble even gonna come out. Niner gonna find 1 at the very least, and now has to try and reposition. The Cove providing a little bit of extra cover, granted. Savo is all too aware of the location. Once this Cove drops, it is going to be scary for Niner to try and repeat this. Almost catches timing on the Amber. Gonna peek into 3. That is not the right call there, Niner, as Niner is removed from play. And now Stu in a 1v4 will have to make something crazy happen here if they want to try and clutch out this round. But it's just a firing squad. Everyone peeks at the same time. It is just another one on the board for Keyano as they hold the line for another couple rounds.
Yeah, they're hanging in there for sure. You know, maybe a little bit of a second win from there right there. And they just need to continue the streak of, you know, punishing SFU for, you know, maybe they're getting a little bit sloppy. They're very much up right now. They just need to, both teams need to lock in really what needs to happen. And SFU's a little bit short on money. We're seeing Light Shields, you know, that Bulldog for Stu. But at least Kaho still has a Vandal, the star hitter. But yeah, he's counted to lock in now more than ever.
Yeah, and I think Kaho has been sort of subdued this map, but hasn't really had to do a whole lot. You know, they've sort of just won the rounds necessary Stu sort of being that anchor, as we mentioned, has been quite good. Oh, Glow.
Holy.
Running and gunning, shutting it down. Juka doing the exact same to Senja through spawn. And now 3 members on this B site from Keyano. They will get a plant down at the very least. But in the Empress mode goes Glow, looking to try and find even more than they bargained for. Plant hasn't even come down yet. Juka's gonna find Bondo. Luffy finds 2 in return. Stu answers the beck and call. And then a 2v1, Juka and Kaho versus Savo. They know where the enemy jet is, and that spike is down right out in the open.
Yeah, shut off completely by the harbor wall. Salvo has to kind of be patient here. He needs to isolate one, but Flamingo, their task is to not let them have it at all. And Salvo might have to do a little bit of peek, and he gets one. That's exactly what he needed. That's a good spray. Kind of punishes them for going for the spike. A little bit too hasty there. 5-12 match point for Flamingo, and you know, Keyano has to make something happen again. They have 3 ults, Sky ult. That might be super helpful for them in taking a site. However, timeout from, you know, Crown in the coach slot this time.
Oh, it's guaranteed him probably trolling the crap out of them too at this point. Crown, of course, not playing in this series, got thrown into the coach slot for game 3. I think they're just having a little bit of fun with it, but nonetheless, in this situation, you have so many points to secure up this title for yourself here if you are the side of SFU Flamingo, that maybe just kind of, I won't say it's 100% grief. It might just be them trying to ensure that they get themselves the win right here, right now, end it off, get ready for the rest of the night after this.
It is Canada Day.
It is Canada Day, you know, you gotta get your plans out. Gotta go see where the fireworks are and everything. And SFU Flamingo just want to secure it up right here. It will be a full buy coming through from the side of Keyano, bar 1 member. So check out the music notation in the store. Oh my goodness.
Oh, holy.
Matt, chill. Chill, Matt, chill. Seems as if the strat is rush A. There's 4 members going towards here. B site is completely open.
High gamble here from the defense, and Keyano just charging on through. Maybe they recognize this opportunity. Savo updraft, looking for a pick. No one on site. However, Niner will use the ult. This is the plan. Full retake for Flamingo.
Oh, and pushing the lockdown as well. They're trying to do so, but Kaho finds 2. That's big. Pulls out the knives as well. Using a big old crosshair as well. He finds 4. They say, Kaho, go kill. He finds 4. Niner gonna get locked down as well, but they know exactly where Ambot is. He's gonna even pop the ult as well. They're going in with the knives. They're going in to fight for it. Ambot will be taken down by Juka, and that's all, folks. SFU Flamingo are gonna take it all.
Not with the big crosser and the knife. I mean, that's definitely one way to end a match. Holy, Flamingo will take the CIE title. Excellent work.
Yeah, excellent stuff coming through from SFU Flamingo as they wrest everything back into their control after a little bit of a sketchy ascent map there, going down 5 map points there to Keyano. Nonetheless, they're able to pull it back with a very clean Pearl, with a very strong comeback on Lotus as well. They are your CIE champions for 2023. Fantastic stuff coming through from a team that we had expectations to win from the beginning. They performed up to par.
Yeah, they definitely delivered. We saw them, you know, kind of struggle on ascent with finding their footing, you know, maybe locking in, maybe waking up a little. Now after that, it's just smooth sailing for them, especially after Lotus. After Lotus getting onto a map like Pearl, that's their second home, and we saw how that went.
Exactly, and I think when all is said and done, we do have to give credit to Keyano. They had a fantastic run of things here. A team that not many people expected to make this far, apart from potentially Keyano themselves, and yet they were still able to surpass expectations in a lot of ways. I think most at the beginning would have said it would have been SFE versus UBC. They're going to be the ones fighting it out at the end. But Keyano come through and they show that they are not to be trifled with. This is the team that I will be looking forward to seeing in the future as well. I want to see how they develop. And going up against SFU Flamingo, while it is a 3-0 sweep, there is still a lot to ride high on, and I'm excited to see what this program has in store. However, that does wrap us up for our grand finals. Lunr, do you have any final words for today?
Hey, hashtag SFU Slay, right? Keyano, they put up a great fight. Brand new roster though, not quite like too experienced yet. However, the potential is there for them to become maybe one of the top dogs of the West Coast.
For sure. And of course, we do have to thank the sponsors for this whole tournament. Shout out to Dell and MSI for sponsoring us and making sure that we can bring all of this action, all of these panels from CIE all to your screens this week. It's been fantastic working with everyone. Shout out to everyone who was on the committee to create the show, to all the panels, all the casters, all the players, everyone who's been a part of this. It's been fantastic to see all of these Canadian esports icons, it feels like, come to the forefront and show what we are all about. We are a developing scene, but we're getting there. We're going to catch up to the States at some point. Mark my words. Nonetheless, that about wraps it up. We do have closing ceremonies in a little bit. We'll get those prepped up for you there. But as for myself and Lunr, as well as Matt and Liam in the back, thank you so much for joining us. It's been fun. Take it easy.
Yeah, thank you. Later.
Welcome, everyone, to the closing ceremonies of the second annual Canadian Intercollegiate Exhibition. For the last time this year, I'm Jennifer from SFU, and this is Kirsten from U of T, and it was a pleasure being your host for the last 8 days. We hope you all enjoyed watching the last week and spending time with us watching schools compete against each other for the title of CIE 2023 champions, learning from each of our panels, as well as getting to know some of your peers from across the country.
Yeah, so this event took months and months of planning. So before we get into the recap of the week, let's first thank the volunteers for all of their hard work leading up to and during the CIE. So we couldn't have put on such a great week without the hard work of our social media team, graphic designers, production staff, casters, and observers, tournament organizers, and of course, all of you watching at home supporting the event. We also would like to thank our amazing sponsor, Dell. Without them, we wouldn't have been able to have such great prize pools for our tournaments or bring on so many amazing and talented guests. Lastly, thank you so much to MSI for providing our raffle items, which winners please will be contacted on Discord so we can get your prizes to you as soon as possible.
Okay, so now on to the event recap. There are some really special events that went on this year, so let's take a look back at them. We started day one on June 24th, so exactly a week ago. We started by bright and early with our opening ceremonies and our Hearthstone tournament. So congratulations to Aqua and Squirrelfish from UBC for taking home the win on that. Also, congratulations to Super Chicken from Carleton for taking second, as well as Neji and Gamer 101 coming from UVic and TMU, winning third and fourth place respectively.
And then on to day two, June 25th, we had our Casting 101 panel, our esports media panel, as well as our subathon panels. So each panel was super fun since we had the views and opinions of so many experts in their fields, and we also hope you learned a lot from them. Our League of Legends started that day as well with a round robin between SFU, UTM, Waterloo, and a last minute entry from the retirement home, which comprised of students from various collegiate schools. Day three, oh, day three is what Jennifer's going to take here.
Thank
Sorry.
you. That's okay. Day three, we focused around gaming and esports careers, with, of course, our careers in gaming and esports panel, where we discussed a few of the different career paths that you could take in our industry, as well as the skills required and the challenges that happen within both the gaming and esports industry. We also sat down for a chat with Team India, who is currently playing in the Overwatch 2 League World Cup. So before and then also before closing out the day, um, then we finished the day with our Overwatch 2 tournament. So congratulations to U of T for taking home the W on that, as well as SFU for taking home second place. And then rounding out the top four was UBC Azure taking third and U Alberta Honor taking fourth.
Yep. So June 27th was our fourth day, and we had three amazing panels, starting with esports at all ages, where we learned about gaming and esports from when you're a child to, I guess the old ages. Get Coached brought in three amazing coaches who talked about how to help players grow, not only as an individual, but also as a team. They also took us into their world of stat tracking and various metrics on how to track your team's progress. Lastly, we had the Revive Me Jet panel, where we had an open conversation about the importance of physical and mental health and the intersection between gaming and well being. To round it out, the night was brought to a close with our League of Legends Best of Five finals, where Retirement Home took down UTM to become champions, winning themselves a cool $420.
And day five was our lightest day, but marked just over halfway through our event. So we had started with our organization spotlight on Esport Canada Post Secondary. So please definitely check them out if you are in the post secondary scene and want to join our group. We also had Avoiding the Hack panel, which is sponsored by Dell. And then we ended the day a little bit early with some community games.
June 29th was day 6, and it kicked off with our very first Bring Your Parents to School panel, which, from its name, obviously, is a crash course discussion on not only the pros and cons of gaming esports, but you will also hear from parents of gaming and esports involved in children. Again, thank you so much, Dell. We took a peek inside the gaming lounge to see what goes on into the construction and planning of a top tier gaming lounge. And then we also wrapped up the day with our Valorant round robin.
June 20, we're in the 30s now. June 30th was day 7, and we started out today, or that day, with our Student Leaders in Esports panel, where we heard what various student esport club executives had to say about their clubs, what they're up to, and where they want to go in the future. We made a slight detour to our game development panel, where we had a chat with the creator of Counter-Strike, Min Lee, as well as some other game developers and producers. And then after that, we finished up the panels of the day with Breaking Boundaries, which featured Tiffany and Malia from Team Liquid before heading into our Valorant charity showcase match. It was definitely chaotic, and a few of our volunteers might have fried their computers, but two amazing charities got donation, and thankfully everyone had a really good time both playing and watching.
Yep. So that brings us to today, July 1st, which is Canada Day, also our day 8. We brought some special guests like Emily from FlyQuest, Noxious from Overwatch Team Canada, and Crimzo from Vancouver Titans and Team Canada for our Path to Pro panel. We then went behind the scenes for our broadcasting, production, and graphic design panel, where we got a look at all the work that goes on to create smooth and visually appealing broadcasts. And just now, we watched the last tournament of CIE 2023 come to an exciting conclusion.
So the entire week was filled with such exciting events and highlights, and we hope you all had fun time watching from home and chatting with us. All of our videos and streams will be available on our Twitch chat, um, as well as our YouTube channel. If you want to go back, watch them, clip them if you want, you guys are all free to do that. But with that, we are just at the end of our closing ceremony and really the end of this entire event. So one more time, we really want to thank all the volunteers from the over 20 schools across Canada who had a hand in helping us bring this event to life. Without all of your hard work, this event wouldn't have been possible, and we are both so thankful to have worked with everyone over the last few months. Once again, thank you to Dell, our title sponsor, and MSI for supporting the Canadian Intercollegiate Exhibition 2023. And for the last time this year, I'm Jennifer from SFU, and this is Kirsten from U of T, and we hope you had a good time, and hope to see you next year for CIE 2024. Good night, everyone.
Good night.